You're watching the MAC on ESPN. They've been waiting for this day for a long time in Kalamazoo. Football is back at Waldo Stadium, and there's history in Kalamazoo today. For the first time ever, Western Michigan welcomes in the mean green of North Texas. Welcome high above Waldo Stadium. The former national champion Marcus Ray, I'm Evan Stockton. Sometimes in these ball games, storylines write themselves, and this one is real simple today. You got the finesse of North Texas against the physicality of Western Michigan. Basketball on grass on offense for North Texas. Would you believe their quarterback, Drew Mestemaker, is starting today for just the third time since the 9th grade? But he looks really, really good right now.
The thing that jumps out is his football IQ, his arm strength, his accuracy. Look at the numbers, 75% completion rate, 3 touchdowns without turning the football over. He's another great quarterback in the long line of Eric Morris's legacy.
And they probably got to get the ball out quick today because Dame Tucker last week up the road in East Lansing was living in that Spartan backfield.
Big game Dame. He's very productive, disruptive. I don't think one guy can block him by yourself. Keep an eye on this young man. I talked to a few scouts. He will play on Sundays.
And then the question offensively for Western Michigan is who's going to grab the reins at quarterback for the Broncos? You see Brock Lowry on the left, Brady Jones on the right. Brady started last week, expected to start this week, but we will see a lot of Brock. He's more of the runner. Brady's more of a passer. He was outstanding at his last stop collegiately throwing the football. We'll see who it ends up being, not just today for the Broncos, but going forward. I swear this isn't the first week of October. This is the first week of September. We got football weather. It's 58 degrees. It kind of feels like it's in the 40s. And, you know, North Texas's coaching staff was saying there's a lot of people down in our neck of the woods who think, hey, you know, when we come up north, we don't like the weather. We like it this time of year. You know, it's in the 80s and 90s, Marcus, right now in the great state of Texas. Coming up here to the great state of Michigan, they're cool with a little football weather this time of year.
Definitely. I'll tell you what, man, North Texas, they're used to playing in this kind of weather. They think 60 degrees is cold. But this is, you know, some people think when it's in the fall and you want a little wind. I think this is perfect football weather. It's gorgeous. It's sunny. There's no weather, inclement weather. You just get a chance to play ball, North versus the South, American versus the MAC, finesse versus physicality.
North Texas and Western Michigan both believe in their head coaches. Lance Taylor, his 3rd year here in Kalamazoo. His background is in running the rock. He used to be an assistant coach at Stanford when he was coaching the likes of Christian McCaffrey and Bryce Love. It's going to be a challenge against North Texas today. Their head coach is Eric Morris. Lance Taylor has won the 10 in his career here at Western Michigan. Miguel Arenas to kick it deep for North Texas. In those lime green jerseys that you can spot from all the way up in our position in the broadcast booth. First meeting ever between North Texas and Western Michigan. Devin Miles will take it. Try the right side and find some real estate. And then that real estate closed up real quick. But it will be decent starting field position for Western Michigan offensively. A team, Marcus, that felt like offensively last week just couldn't quite come unglued against Michigan State.
Well, part of the reason Michigan State has a pretty good defense, it was also week 1. They just had some missed opportunities. They need to play some clean football. When they got in the red zone, they had some negative plays, whether they were tackles for losses, penalties, things of like that, drop passes. They even had some drop returns. So they just need to clean up their act offensively and special teams, and then they'll be able to score points with these weapons on the outside in a good running game.
Buckley is the back behind Brady Jones. He's starting for the 2nd straight week. Trying to get this run game established with Buckley, who only ran it for about 20 yards last week at Michigan State. It's pretty simple, Marcus. When you're playing a team like North Texas, which was one of the best offenses statistically in the country last year, Broncos are trying to shrink this game, trying to squeeze it down with the run game.
Yeah, well, they say styles make fights, and obviously when you run the ball and you ball control, you keep the other team off the field, but you want to capitalize too, because that can work against you if you don't score quick and the other team can. So it's really a matter of getting a good balance of run and pass and keeping the defense on their heels.
Back to the ground on 2nd down 7. And it'll be 3rd down and short as once again they lean on Buckley and an offensive line specifically on that left side that they're feeling a little bit better about this week.
You got Vander Vest, Hoffer, those guys. That's some big body guys up front. And one of the things that they want to do is try to wear down North Texas. I mean, North Texas doesn't have the biggest defensive line, and you don't need one. But when you get into a long game, the battle of attrition could kick in.
Buckley again. Didn't need a lot, didn't gain a whole heck of a lot, but it is first down for Western Michigan. Not quite 3 yards in a cloud of dust, more like 4 yards in a cloud of dust so far, but they're cool with how this is looking.
Yeah, and one of the things they told us is they need to run the ball better. I mean, when you watch the game last week against Michigan State, they just felt like they just couldn't get it going. And when you look at this offensive line, they replaced 4 guys who were in NFL camps. I mean, 2 All-Americans. So when you start to try to re-gel earlier in the season, the running game is your friend and it's your opponent's enemy.
Jacob Gideon, Addison West, among the talent on the offensive line that's not here in Kalamazoo anymore. 4th straight run. This is the type of offense they love in this part of the country, and they're loving what they're seeing from Buckley, who is leaning ahead on drive number 1.
Raheem Anderson at centers. Western Michigan, even before Coach Taylor got here, had a staple of running the football. I mean, they had a history of good running backs, big offensive lines, weapons on the outside. I just think the culture in Kalamazoo is to ground and pound and play physical football and then take their shots when they're there.
Gain of 7 on first down. Back to him again. Buckley's got another first down. Will Jones II had to step up from his safety spot to make the tackle. As now you see North Texas, looks like they're committing extra bodies to try to stop Buckley in this run game.
You see, watch the fullback tight end. I mean, when you run that play, that's called a split zone. The line goes one way, and someone in the backfield blocks that backside gap, and it creates some run lanes, and it's hard to defend for a linebacker because you're scraping over the top.
First time that Buckley is not in the game, and it's the first throw of the game that is caught. That is Balin Brooks, who played well in Michigan State last week, catching that pass from Jones.
So what you'll see in an offense like this, in the world of RPO, is you don't see a run play. The offensive line will run block, but the wide receivers won't block. They'll run a pass play. So quarterback you saw there, Brady Jones, he actually saw the grass in front of the defensive back, and he took his shot.
The back is Devin Miles, senior from Danville, Illinois. He's on the right of Jones here. High snap, got it down, and this is a heck of a run for Devin Miles. It takes about 4 members of the Mean Green D to get him, and this drive so far is a dream for Western Michigan.
Yeah, so what Western Michigan is doing, so this is 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends, but they're using their wide receivers as extended blockers. So they're essentially playing a 9-man front on offense, and they're outnumbering North Texas at the point of attack when you have defensive linemen and defensive backs further away from the ball. It's a great strategy.
And this defense for North Texas last week had a heck of a performance. First shutout in 22 years for the program. Right now they're on their heels. That'll help a little bit. They brought Buckley back into the game, and he barely gained a yard.
So far, so good for the Broncos. Ran off 5 minutes of clock, flipped the field. Offense is obviously in a rhythm. Defensively, if you're North Texas and you didn't give up any points last week, probably a little bit shocked right now, thinking, hey, shutout, 51-0, different football, different style of offense, and obviously you're playing on the road.
Second down, 9. Jones gives again. Now that middle for North Texas starting to squeeze. This will be the first time on the drive for Western Michigan in a scenario, Marcus, where they probably got to throw.
One thing you want to get out of this possession is some type of point, so you don't want to make any mistakes where you turn the football over, as you'll see. But keep an eye on number 6, the middle linebacker, Trey Fields. I mean, we're going to call his name all day long. Had an interception last week, 4 tackles. He is the heart and soul of that linebacking core, especially in the run game.
Line to gains the 21. Jones has got it 3rd and 9. He lost the ball on the pump, and he got it back, so we avoided total disaster. But now as you're talking about that kicking game, that's a bit of an uncertainty for Western Michigan. Now you got a decision all of a sudden.
Yeah, so what you'll see is Armstead, the corner, he actually showed that he was going to bail, and then he ran up, and that's what caused Jones to pump that football. If he threw that, that might have been a pick six. So it's very fortunate that they didn't turn that football over. That's good defense when that field got short for North Texas.
And look what happens here too, Marcus. That is the punter, Ryan Milmore. Playing the field position game against a great North Texas offense. Can they pin him? Yes. Strong special teams work by Western Michigan. Got down the field and downed it with Josh Franklin as Milmore gets him inside the 5. So no points on drive number 1 for Western Michigan, but a long way to go for North Texas when you come back to Kalamazoo. You know, usually when they say the term whiteout in Kalamazoo, Michigan, everybody goes, oh boy, snow's coming again. But today, they're loving it at Waldo Stadium. That's the whole student section, rocking the white t-shirts. And the team is wearing white as well on this whiteout here in Kalamazoo at Waldo Stadium. North Texas backed up inside their 5 here. Eric Morris, their head coach, who also calls the plays, loves to sling this football all over the turf. And Drew Mestemaker is the man at the controls for an offense that scored 51 points last week. Mestemaker hands, and that's not a whole heck of a lot. You're going to see a slew of backs and receivers for North Texas today. Mackenzie McGill, the first one to carry it, and not a whole heck of a lot on play number 1 for Eric Morris. Marcus, you were talking about the school that he comes from. There is a lot of high-level lineage that he has been a member of coaching staffs in his career.
From Mike Leach, Kingsbury, the air raid, he's added his own flavor to it. He's coached a lot of great ones. I'll let you get into that, but I'll tell you, he's a great offensive mind. Some will say a mastermind offensively.
This is August Johanningsmeyer on the field. 6'4" redshirt junior from Howell, Michigan. Played well last week at Michigan State, and unfortunate to see him down here. Get all of ESPN college football all in one place with all new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. ESPN app. It's the way to watch the most MAC football and American football all season long. This is what you hate to see. Handful of snaps into the home opener. And August Johanningsmeyer, the 6'4" redshirt junior from Howell, Michigan, former Highlander, is down in the field. It's a really good high school football program he was a part of. Howell made the Division I state semifinals here in Michigan last year. They call him Augie. Full name is August. Would you believe that he was a running back in high school? Really good one. 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns his senior year. Obviously, he bulked up a little bit since coming here to Kalamazoo. This stinks, Marcus, to see because he played pretty well down the road at Spartan Stadium last week.
Yeah, he sure did. I mean, he did his job. He was a guy that stood out on tape, kept competing all game. And when you say former running back, I'm trying to think what offense. Probably a little wing T action, man. Had to be. If you're 6'4" and athletic, I know some guys that fit well in that system. So this is my little coaching background.
There's quite a few offenses at the high school level in Michigan that still run that wing T. There's a huge high school football matchup in Michigan last night. Top team in the state, Cass Tech, which has sent dozens of players to college and the NFL, played a team from the west side, not too far from here in Kalamazoo, Granville, who runs the wing T, and Cass ended up winning that game in overtime.
Yeah, they had a tight one against Toledo Central Catholic, too, last week. Cass is loaded.
They always are.
My son played with a few of those guys out there. Donald Tabron at quarterback. CJ, all those guys, man.
I can guarantee you a lot of these schools on the screen are looking at guys like the ones they've got at Cass Tech. 3 games coming up for you next week in the MAC on ESPN+. Ball State, New Hampshire, Toledo, Morgan State. And Marcus, I know you're excited to get back to Bowling Green as they play Liberty next week. Home game number 2 for Eddie George at BG.
Yeah, I think we got a good slate. I mean, all of these teams are playing competitive schedules. And before you know it, they'll be playing conference games. But be interesting to see how Bowling Green does today versus Cincinnati. And I think that'll give us a gauge. And Liberty had their hands full down there in Jacksonville State.
Marcus, I know you were wondering. We have confirmed that Pudge the Cat found his way to Cincinnati for today's game.
Oh, man, I knew he wasn't going to miss it.
The morale booster, the college football sensation, Pudge the Cat. Johanningsmeyer has been loaded onto the cart. Just so frustrating. You can understand all the work that goes into a season. This stinks to see. Hoping Johanningsmeyer is back healthy as soon as possible. We mentioned that this is the first ever meeting between Western Michigan and North Texas, which has bounced around conferences, but now they found a home in the American. That's another interesting wrinkle, Marcus, to this matchup. Both these teams expected to be right in the middle of their conferences, but they each have so many new players. You really don't know what you're going to get with North Texas and Western Michigan once they do hit full-time conference play.
No, you don't, because you have to instill your culture, your playbook, figure out, like Western Michigan has 18 new starters. I mean, so it's just tough, but you just gel and put it together each week.
Another run. McGill slipped one tackle, and then he was escorted out of bounds by Camden, James Camden, for Western Michigan. Did not get the first down, but this will be a 3rd down and really short for the Mean Green.
They're coming out in 21 personnel, well, 11 personnel, 1 back, 1 tight end. Coach Morris said he wanted to run the ball better this week and establish the run. When you're in this area of the field, you don't want to take too many chances.
Mestamaker can run it as well at the quarterback spot. Play fake, throw, incomplete. Tried back shoulder to Simeon Evans, didn't link up with it. There's no way they're going for it here, this deep in their own territory, right? Mestamaker coming off the field, so there's your answer. I mean, look, we're in a day and age where everybody wants to go for it, and North Texas's offense is always thinking attack, attack, attack. But 4th and 1 from the 13-yard line, not even Dan Campbell would do that. They want to see something better, Marcus, out of Sawyer Evans as he kicks it deep to Kevin Boone Nelson. They were frustrated with the directional kicking from Evans last week. And right on cue, this one sails out of bounds. Sawyer listened to the coaching this week.
Directional kicking is a little tricky because when that ball goes out of bounds, it's ball based on where the official spots it. But the goal is to pin them on one side and then trap the return man closer to the sideline so he can only go straight. And then it allows your guys to cover the kick a lot better. And it's tough to block when you're running a certain way when you're on that punt return team.
Western Michigan back in the field. Their first offensive drive did not end in points, but it took nearly 7 minutes off the clock. They tried to throw it twice on the opening drive. And they'll try to throw it here. And get a completion to Blake Bosma. Oh, look at him spin free. They think he could be the best tight end in the MAC this year, and Blake just showed off hitting the circle button.
When you run the football, then you set up that pass right there. As you'll see Blake come from the backside behind the line of scrimmage. Hard to miss, though, with that big frame. They couldn't quite get him the ball last week the way they wanted to, but you'll see it right there. He complements that run game when he gets out into the flat area that way.
Gain 7 on first down. Jones fakes again. Check down, fastball high and incomplete. There was a lot of mustard on that pass to Buckley as Smith Young had the coverage.
But that was great coverage by North Texas on that one. They weren't fooled by the play action. They want Western Michigan to throw the ball. They really don't want you to see just line up and pound it like that. That was a two-man route. It was a cross-country route, 2 big, deep over-crossing routes behind the linebackers, and they stayed home. That's why you had to check down.
Broncos 1-2 on third down of the first drive. Back to the ground. Buckley with that forward lead ahead has got the first down for Western Michigan.
Well, Western on first down used that bootleg pass as a glorified run game because it was a positive play. They wanted to take a shot on second because they feel confident they can run the ball anything 3rd and 4 or 5 and under. That's what you saw right there. And that young man's a special guy right there. A lot of yards put up in the last 2 years. And they really were disappointed they weren't able to get him more touches and so he could be more effective last week.
Oh, there's miscommunication and trouble again on an exchange. On the first drive, Brady Jones on a pump fake dropped the ball, and here something got crossed up. Loss of 4 on this one.
Well, it's just a matter of, I don't think Buckley tucked the football. I think it was miscommunication between Buckley and Brady on that play.
This is a straight give. Buckley gets back across the original line of scrimmage. But again, Marcus, this is where Western Michigan on the last drive forced to throw on 3rd and long. They lost yardage and ended up punting. Let's see what the play call is here on another 3rd and long.
Looks like they're trying to run a little zone read action there where Brady Jones is trying to decide if he's going to hand it off or keep it. He's a very capable runner, too. They don't want him to run it, but that was a good play call, though, on that outside zone. But he is starting to read the defensive lineman on this series a little more.
Jones has got it. 3rd down 8. Incomplete. Hoping for Talik Williams, and he was met awfully close to contact from Quentin Hammonds that could have been PI, but he met him at the right time. And again, Western Michigan can't convert 3rd and long.
Yeah, once again, North Texas is running what's called read cover 4. And when that inside receiver breaks out, that's when the corner comes back down. Right there, he's sitting right on that route. I thought he should have played the football there. Might have had an interception, but it's tough for a quarterback to know when that corner is going to come off or stay deep.
Milmore out there again. Last punt pinned inside the 5. Miles Coleman this time makes fair catch at the 7. That's one way to slow down one of the best offenses at the D1 level in college football. Keep pinning them inside the 10 if you're Western Michigan. Fun matchup today in Kalamazoo. First time ever that Western Michigan out of the MAC and North Texas out of the American are playing one another. It's different now because these rosters change when you get to bowl season with the transfer portal and so forth. But a huge litmus test for conferences is still, how do you do in the bowl games? And who did the best in the bowl games last year? These two conferences on the field today, the American and the Mid-American Conference. Another drive for North Texas has got a long way to go. This is Coleman from Mestemaker, and Halleck met him right away. Tate Halleck, who had a pick six last week at Michigan State, makes a strong open field tackle here.
Yeah, the former Spartan, the veteran. He's a leader, versatile, plays well in space. He can cover like a safety, nickel back, hit like a linebacker, has the hands of a wide receiver. Special kind of young man right there, and you saw it on that last play.
Mestemaker gives. McGill keeps those legs churning and turns this into a third down and more manageable for North Texas, who threw a back shoulder fade on 3rd and 1 in the last drive. Didn't get it, forced to punt it. This will be 3rd down with the ball spotted right around the 13, and they got to get to just past the 17. 3rd down 4. Mestemaker. Tucker's coming after him. He got away. Long roll and throw. Incomplete. The coverage from Javarius Sims is that guy we were talking about at the top. Dane Tucker altered Mestemaker in the pocket.
Yeah, that's great coverage there by the Broncos, and I think field position is altering Coach Eric Morris's play calling. I mean, you have certain play calls for certain areas of the field. If you get too cute in this black zone when you're backed up and you turn that football over, it's not good. So I think their play calling, I think you'll see them open it up a little bit, but you're trying to give yourself room to punt in that run game too. But that's great pressure by Western Michigan on 3rd down.
Evans angled the last punt to the sideline. Boone Nelson reaching over his head to make the catch. And Western Michigan sees Boone Nelson make an acrobatic catch. And again, they're starting field position where they would prefer it to be at the 39-yard line. This is a knuckleballing punt, huh?
Yeah, that's a little riverboat gambler-ish. I'm not sure if he was down because he landed on the defender. I'll tell you what, they had some issues in the return game a week ago, and Coach Taylor said he wanted them to make better decisions on when to field the ball.
It's our first change at quarterback. Brock Lowry is in. He played primarily the second half last week at Michigan State. He brings more of a run game element. They hand it here, and Miles is going nowhere. The run game going backward the last couple of plays for Western Michigan. Ethan Weslowski makes the hit as Lowry, the sophomore from Canfield, Ohio, is in for the first time.
It's going to be interesting to see if they really use Lowry's ability to run the football, design quarterback runs or some read option instead of just expecting him to scramble around and make something happen.
Play fake. Long roll and run. This is what Brock can do. Unafraid to lower that shoulder. And he's got the first down for Western Michigan.
Well, you'll see right here, little bootleg action. Right here, if once he breaks contain and gets on a perimeter, he has the option to run the ball or throw it downfield with a lot of momentum. That time he decided to keep it. You want to see young Brock slide every now and then too. Even though he's a tough kid, he needs you to slide on the ground. It'll be a long season.
Looking like Mahomes last night. Did you see some of those hits that he was giving out against the Chargers?
I did. I sure did.
I'm sure Andy Reid's going, Pat, just get down. Lowry roll it again. Tried to run it again, and Weslowski got to him. Number 32 in those lime green unis, Ethan Weslowski, going sideline to sideline and making the open field tackle.
Weslowski can play in space there. Brock went through his progression. He went from play side, left to right, right to left. Nothing was there. He took off. But I'll tell you what, that was a great tackle in space. That young man, Ethan Weslosky, has been a productive player over the years. A couple of sacks in 24, a lot of tackles.
Lowry pitches. Miles runs. First guy who hit him brings him down. That's Shane Witter, the former Oklahoma Sooner. And third down on the way for the Broncos.
It's a good tackle there in space. That's what you call a toss read. That time, Brock was looking at the defensive end. If there's no one there, you pitch it. If he takes the running back, and you're supposed to keep it on that side. You see the very popular play here in college football. Power read, counter read, all types of reads. So these defensive ends have to be a little more disciplined. That was a good tackle there, though.
Broncos 2 of 4 on third down today. Lowry's got the high snap. And he's tackled by Patrick Smith-Young. It's not the first down, but both coaching staffs talked about how sometimes now third down is really to set up fourth down, and the Bronco offense is staying on the field.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. That's why your third down calls have to be very well thought out.
Broncos don't have to snap it here in the quarter if they don't want to. And they're not going to snap it. All right, we'll see if the decision changes as we start the second quarter and after time to think about it for Lance Taylor in the commercial break. So much for all that high-powered offense last week for North Texas. Western Michigan and the Mean Green in a slugfest through one quarter in Kalamazoo. game within a game here as we start the second quarter in a scoreless one between Eric Morris's North Texas Mean Green and the Broncos of Western Michigan, led by Lance Taylor. It's 4th down 2 for the Broncos at North Texas's 42. Western Michigan, when faced with situations like this already in the game, has punted. But they're lined up to go for it here. The quarterback, Lowry, is a running threat. They roll him and flip it out. Blake Bosma, 1st down and more. The gamble pays off for Western Michigan.
That's a well-executed play. And you can tell the play calling is different when Brock Lowry's in based on his skill set. You just look to the right of your screen. It's really a simple flat route off the play action. When you play with poor eye discipline, especially in man-to-man coverage, you will look in that backfield and your man will be running for a 1st down just like that.
And apparently we're still doing the dab. Pump for Lowry. Pressure was coming. Forced to throw it away. 2nd down coming up.
It's good coverage there. Lowry tends to be like you can tell in this system that he's in with a certain place, he's a one read and run guy. If he doesn't like it there, he tried to go through the progressions at one time, but he still took off running. It's a nice job there. A lot of people don't like to throw the ball away when they're athletic, but that was a smart decision.
Buckley the back. That's who they give it to. He was churning up the yards in the first couple of drives of the game for Western Michigan. It's a handful here as the middle was squeezed by Fatafehi Vailea, senior from Oakland.
Vailea clogged up that middle. Bryson Hayes, 44, also got a piece. I think both teams, now that the chess match is kind of underway, are getting a feel for really what's going on both sides of the ball, especially in the run game.
Lowry running all the way. Made a man miss. Look at him go. Brock Lowry, touchdown. That is what he brings, Marcus Ray, a running element. And the Broncos are on the board first.
And you'll see this is a pass play, but it's called stick draw, quarterback draw, stick or flare draw, whatever you want to call it, where there's 2 plays in one. It's a run play for the quarterback, but as you see the running back exit out the backfield, if you like that, you throw the flare, quick screen. If not, you run it, and that's what they're doing. They're running package plays with that young man.
First points of the season offensively for Western Michigan. And they come on a 25-yard Brock Lowry rumble to the house. The former Indiana Hoosier on that drive injected a little life. And we do have a very late flag after the extra point went through. Homer Domschke made the PAT for the Broncos.
The try is good. After the play, personal foul, kicking team, number 51. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Rick Warren tells us about that foul. 10 plays, 61 yards in 5.5 minutes. Brock Lowry bringing the juice. Western Michigan has scored an offensive touchdown for the first time this season. The athletic director here at Western Michigan, Dan Bartholomew, likes to say there's never been a better time to be a Western Michigan Bronco, and it's hard not to believe him. That's the hockey team that won the national championship last year, being honored on the field here at Waldo Stadium. Both soccer teams made the NCAA tournament here at Western Michigan last year. Football team has been growing and growing under Lance Taylor, and he's got to love what he just saw, Marcus, on that drive from Brock Lowry, who made some big-time plays with his legs.
Well, I felt like Coach Taylor was very confident on our call this week about what he felt like they could do. We asked him about the matchup up front. He liked his offensive line, being able to run the football. Obviously, ball control. You see that last scoring drive, 10 plays, 61 yards. Almost 6 minutes off the clock. I think their game plan is working. I think the physicality is overpowering the finesse right now. It'll be interesting to see what North Texas does with more field position.
It was a longer kick because of the penalty on the extra point on Western Michigan. So North Texas, after that return, Marcus, they've got to be thinking as an offensive staff, okay, all our drives have started deep in our own territory inside the 10. Finally, on this drive for Eric Morris, they got some breathing room.
Yeah, now they can run their offense. I think you'll see a more wide open attack. Maybe not as run first because they're not backed up.
It's a dead ball foul for a legal kick on the kicking team. A punt is illegal on a free kick. It's a 5-yard penalty. We will re-kick.
So now Lance Taylor, after all that excitement from the Brock Lowry touchdown run, is seeing everything go wrong on special teams. And they mentioned to us coming into this week, we got to clean up special teams after they struggled last week in East Lansing.
Yeah, and also it's just a little miscommunication. A lot of times you have to punt it after a safety.
Yep.
But even though it's still a free kick off the penalty.
Game clock to 13:33.
But you still have to kick the ball in a situation like that, even after a penalty.
I guess the only downside for North Texas here is they're thinking, shoot, we got some really good starting field position. Is this actually going to hurt us now that they have to re-kick it? Now, of course, their hope is that Western Michigan keeps having to kick it further and further back. They talk about that third phase of the football game all the time, right? Offense and defense get all the love, but games are usually won on special teams. And right now, the special teams for Western Michigan hurting them. That's Evans back deep for North Texas. As we're about to see how far Hunter Smith can kick it for Western Michigan. That ball is at the 15-yard line.
You don't see very many kickoffs from the 15.
That is an outstanding kick. Drives them back to the 15. And Evans is upended. So after all of that, after the great special teams tackle by Jaden Lyles, North Texas actually lost field position on that sequence.
Yeah, they did, and you called it.
For North Texas must sit out for one play for losing his helmet.
But on that kick, it looked like he outkicked the coverage, and there was plenty of room for the blocks to develop to find a run lane. But that was excellent coverage there by Young Lions to be able to make that tackle in space. If he doesn't make that, I mean, there was a lot of grass out there.
Drew Mestemaker motions Coleman out of the backfield. Throwing quick, got it caught. Slipped one tackle, and then the cavalry came to get him. Evans is brought down by a combination of Broncos, including James Camden.
Anytime you see grass in front of a defensive back, especially to the short side of the field, you're going to get that quick pass. That's called a gift pass.
Mestemaker almost picked. Joshua Franklin got in the passing lane.
And Joshua Franklin knew exactly what I was saying, and he kind of baited Drew on that last ball. You see the grass there. He got out there late. It's a good read, missed opportunity. That could have been a pick six, but anytime you see grass in front of these wide receivers, they're going to snap it off.
0-2 on third downs today. North Texas hasn't converted yet. Mestemaker shovel pass, and it works beautifully. Maybe that gets North Texas cooking offensively. Kiefer Sibley on the little pop shovel pass for Mestemaker.
Sibley, one of the most complete backs you'll see. He can catch, run, pass protection, and you'll see here, just a nice little shovel pass. It's a glorified draw. Get the defense backed out of there.
Going quick. They like to do this because they can get guys open. Wyatt Young climbing the ladder. And the Mean Green are moving.
That was a switch route, release. Excellent throw and catch. That man last week, Wyatt Young, had a big day. And you see why. He just knows how to get open.
Last year, this North Texas offense, top 5 in the country in passing offense.
You see how the game plan has changed once they had a little bit of breathing room offensively.
Estimaker's got time. And he's throwing to his Little League teammate, Miles Coleman. I don't think he dropped many when he and Drew were playing growing up.
I'll tell you what, Drew did a fine job of extending this play, moving his feet. That's a great throw. And I think the hand in the passing lane there may have affected the catch, but you still have to have that.
Those numbers eye-popping for North Texas. Back to the ground, not a lot. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, that's it. Sibley, who had the long catch and run, was bottled up by the Broncos. 3rd down and long.
Sometimes you have to run the ball just to slow the game down. That's what they did on 2nd down. They know they're in a field goal opportunity or a 4-down situation here. Sometimes you can catch the defense snoozing while you're looking for the pass play like they did on the shovel pass.
Western Michigan is allowed to substitute here. And timeout called by Western Michigan as there were bodies coming on and off the field like a hockey line change. Kind of like the national champions like to do here in Kalamazoo. Big 3rd down for North Texas coming up. The fans come in all shapes and sizes here in Kalamazoo. That is fantastic.
Hey.
Start them young. Huge moment in the ball game coming up here. Western Michigan with the 7-0 lead. 3rd down and 10 for North Texas. Eric Morris has got a deep playbook, Marcus, but still, you never love to be in 3rd down and longs like this.
No, you don't, but you really only need to get half of it in order to really make it a easier decision to go for it on 4th down. I'm expecting out of a formation like this, 2 receivers on both sides. Watch the hashes. That's where they like to work, spread you out and work on the single linebacker and try to get in between the safeties.
Line to gain is the 12. Young in motion. Mestamaker throwing, and he got him acrobatically. Wyatt Young. First down, North Texas.
It started with the motion. Wyatt Young came from the outside. He went in. That changes things for the defense when you look at who's inside and who's outside, and he went right back to the outside, right to the sticks to get that first down. It's a timing route, and you'll see him make a good catch. Got 1 foot in. That's all you need in the Superman effort to make sure you got the first down.
I mean, we got the left side of the body going one way, the right side going the other way. Who needs yoga or Pure Bar when you can do that? Room on the left side. That's the North Texas touchdown. Kiefer Sibley was making plays all over the place on that drive, and he's in from 10 yards out.
What a great call. Caught the defense off guard. They got them lined up the way they wanted to. You saw the speed there from Kiefer Sibley. Picked up a nice block on the outside. That left side of the offensive line has been doing a good job both in pass and run. You'll see right here, right to the left. When you play man-to-man down there, though, Evan, and you see a corner, a receiver go inside, you got to go with him, and it changes everything.
Kali Agunma makes the extra point. He has still not missed an extra point in his North Texas career. Finally, the Mean Green weren't backed up on a drive, and they paid it off with 6. Sibley into the paint for the second straight week.
My son's at a school.
So Marcus has been talking about all broadcast Eric Morris and his lineage offensively. If you don't believe our words, just look at the screen. The guys that he has recruited. He gave Cam Ward an offer when no one else would give him an offer, and Incarnate Word. Coach Morris was actually with Cam Ward at the draft this year in Green Bay. Case Keenum, Baker Mayfield, Patrick Mahomes, and a guy who you're going to watch tonight, 7:30 ABC, that big Oklahoma-Michigan game. John Mateer, when he started at Washington State, was recruited by Eric Morris, and he'll be on display tonight. Can't wait to watch that one when we get home. Chance for a return for Western Michigan. Devin Miles. Oh, how about the hurdle? Devin Miles get up.
Picked up some nice blocks there. Just watch the individual efforts. That's what happens when you kick it a little too short. Makes it hard to cover, and you can't lose contain there. You see the big fella. Look at the athletic ability. Being able to hop over the man in space. It's good field position for the Broncos to start it off.
And that is Brock Lowry, bracket quarterback. Led him down the field for a touchdown in the last drive. Quick throw. Buckley's got it. And he's got a lot of real estate. Jalen Buckley escorted out of bounds. Will Jones finally got to him. But that offense for Western Michigan is humming last couple of drives.
Well, that's the same play they scored a touchdown on. This time he decided to throw the flare. He has the option to throw that if he likes it, or take off running up the middle, and it puts it hard. A lot of stress on the defense. When you outnumber them on the perimeter, then you get good blocks like there by the Broncos wide receivers.
Back in a North Texas field position. Buckley runs. And then he gets some help from his friends. We're playing football, but that looked like a rugby scrum, as it's a gain about 5 or 6 up to the 25.
You know, Coach Taylor told us he's not a fan of playing two quarterbacks, but this year he became one because of what both quarterbacks bring to the table, right? And I'm starting to figure out that it's going to be based on what they need to get done at the moment. And when you can switch it up, passing the ball is probably not the ideal situation in this game, but having a dual threat quarterback and you change the game plan, it makes it tough on the coordinator.
Back to the ground. Miles spin. Evan Miles, between that spin we just saw and the hurdle on the kick return, he's smashing all the buttons on the controller.
Little juke left. Spin right. Just take a look here. You'll see just a simple inside zone play. And they're really asking those wide receivers to block downfield, and they are blocking too. I mean, they are adding to the box offensively. When you see those receivers really close to the line, they're in there to block or play action pass.
Miles, first down, Western Michigan. We've talked today about how they like the experience on the left side of the line, but up the middle, there is some youth. That time they relied on the youth up the middle to keep the drive moving.
Tip your cap, though, to Western Michigan coming into this game. Obviously, their defense pitched a shutout in the second half. See Coach Taylor there. When he first got here, they were a 75% spread team. They had good running backs, but when he took over, and we talked about that on the call, now you can see change of coordinators the last couple of years. They're a more physical football team.
They're going to throw it here, and they're going to get a touchdown. Jalen Buckley for 6. You know, they keep talking about how they want to use both quarterbacks here at Western Michigan, but it's back-to-back drives that end in touchdowns when Brock Lowry's been on the field.
This is the complete schemed-up play. You see the man-to-man. Anytime you see a corner running across, a lot of times it's man-to-man. You'll play action, and the running back Buckley leaks out. That's the way you draw it up. When you game plan and you say, hey, when we get inside the 10 or the 15-yard line, they're going to go man-to-man, and we're going to run this, and it worked to perfection.
Western Michigan did not score an offensive point last Friday night up the road at Spartan Stadium. Their first couple of drives stalled in North Texas territory, but you could feel them building momentum, and they have now scored TDs on back-to-back drives.
That's a good point. A lot of miscommunication there defensively. Poor eye discipline. When you play man-to-man, it's like basketball. You cannot take your eyes off your guy. Right there, one of the linebackers just didn't stay with Buckley, but they were also worried about running. When you have a quarterback that can run, somebody else has to account for him as well.
5 plays, 64 yards, and not even in 3 minutes. I guess the only bad thing for Western Michigan is they do want to keep the North Texas offense off the field. Lance Taylor told us, hey, when we're playing guys like Evans and all that offensive talent for North Texas, I'm a competitor. I'm a fighter. I think we can get in a shootout and win that game. right now they are outscoring North Texas. Hunter Smith nearly kicked that thing all the way through the end zone.
And minus a couple of stalls there in that first quarter, they could easily be up 3 scores. So once they started figuring out what they wanted to do and how they wanted to do it, you saw them make a change and go with it. But they wanted to get Lowry in the game sooner last week, and just the flow of the game prevented them from doing so.
Estemaker back in the field. It's a big throws and big time spots in the last drive that ended with a Sibley touchdown run, 10 yards out. Estemaker going to throw it here. Pressure coming. He's going down. Rodney McGraw, former Penn State and Indy Lion, former Louisville Cardinal. Now he's a Western Michigan Bronco, and he's got a sack.
6'6", 265. Look at the handwork. Constant pressure. Great pass rush there. He beat Larry Moore III, who is the starter this week due to an injury.
Loss of 7. And not a whole heck of a lot running it here. Man, they're clogging up the lanes. Seifa Saipia Jr., whose dad played in the NFL, makes that hit. And it's a long way to go for the Mean Green on 3rd down.
Seifa that time, man, he read that. Got downhill, read the lineman, playing with a lot of energy, passion. This place is turning up right now, and offensively, North Texas just can't get into a rhythm on this series.
Estemaker fields the low snap. Rolling away from more pressure. He's launching a bomb. Incomplete. Wyatt Young turns back to Halleck and says, "You got lucky there."
I know Mr. Young would like to have that one back. It hit him in the bad spot, right in the hands, right? But take a look at Drew. Good pressure by the Broncos. He breaks the pocket, and he has that type of arm strength and confidence to let it go. And right here, oh, if you look it in, big fella. That would have been a huge play. Nevertheless, the Broncos with another stop. But as you see, this offense can hit big plays in bunches if they execute.
Young, who just dropped the pass, was late getting on the field, and that forces North Texas to burn a timeout.
First charge, timeout. 30-second timeout.
And that's the type of timeout that just kills a coaching staff.
You see the look on Coach Morris's face. He doesn't like that because someone is responsible for saying, hey, stay on the field. Wyatt, he ran off thinking about the drop pass, or probably didn't know he was going in on special teams.
All right, so watch the confusion here. You got Young in a dead sprint. And to be fair, this is what happens first couple of weeks of the season, but still, it's something that Coach Morris is not going to excuse.
And the thing he did was he tapped his chest saying, my fault, my bad, that's on me, because he knew. But it was the play before, it was the drop pass where he kind of, let me just get off the field. Man, but I'm still on special teams.
Another punt angled to Boone Nelson, who makes the fair catch at the 40. Eric Morris knew that this would be a challenge for North Texas coming up here to Kalamazoo. His team won 51-0 against Lamar last week, and it is just darn different in Texas. They got 82 players on their roster from Texas. All but 10 of the guys in the 2 team are from the great state of Texas. Coach Morris is from Texas. Basically the whole coaching staff raised in Texas, played in Texas, coached in Texas, and both Marcus and I are Midwesterners, so we asked him, you know, for us, Texas is kind of like Narnia. What is just different about football in Texas? And they said, you got places like Allen where they're spending $60 million on a high school football stadium. Buckley runs it here and gains a couple for Western Michigan. You could just sense, Marcus, when we asked North Texas's coaching staff about what's just different about playing football, coaching football in Texas, they were kind of saying to us without saying it, guys, it's just different down here.
Well, first of all, one of the differences is it's huge. I mean, it's a lot of land down there in that state, from east to west, north to south. A lot of talent, a lot of good football from on all levels. The Group of 5, 1AA, FCS, I'm sorry, and then FBS. You just have so much. They don't even have to leave the state to recruit.
Lowry, incomplete. Brock's from another outstanding high school football state. It's from Canfield, Ohio. And it's going to be 3rd down and long for Western Michigan here.
You see the numbers, 3 of 5 for Brock today so far, 66 yards. Been pretty efficient. Has the rushing touchdown and the pass to Buckley. Sometimes when you see that delayed snap, they want to see what the defense is in and change the play call.
They switched Buckley from left to right, handed it to him, and he's across the 45-yard line. He does not have the first down. Punt unit will come on the field here for Western Michigan.
I like the call there because they were going to pass the ball, but you don't want to force it. You got good field position. If you change the play, they're 1 block away from popping that run for a first down. So it's not always about trying to get the first down. It's about trying to make the best out of that situation that you're in, and now you can punt and play defense.
Miles Coleman back deep. Broncos have played this field position game with Ryan Milmore a couple of times already this afternoon. A couple of punts have been down inside the 10. And this one out of bounds, bounding before that pylon. Ryan Milmore is making a bid for Special Teamer of the Week in the MAC. How about it, Ryan?
Well, last week he had a career best 45-yard average. Look at the bounce, though. Good, excellent. That's excellent ball placement, directional kicking.
You know, punters aren't usually talking that much on the sideline, but Ryan, with the day he's having, talk all you want, my friend.
Hey, anytime you punt the ball and pin him back like that, see the big smile on his face, everybody's excited. The defense is like, whoo, thanks, Ryan, we appreciate that.
And this is the second different time this powerful North Texas offense has started inside the 5. Mestemaker throwing from the end zone, and it's incomplete. Again, a bit of a muddy pocket that Drew had to navigate, and he missed his target on the near side of the field. Barron tipped it.
Most explosive offenses will take a shot when they're backed up like this, just to loosen the defense up. And what North Texas is running on the outside are called choice routes, where you pick your route based on the coverage. That's why Wyatt broke that off into a back shoulder fade.
McGill switches to Mestemaker's left in the gun. Throwing again. And it's incomplete again. 3rd down and 10. And yet again, Mestemaker's going to have to take a snap from his end zone.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't run the football possibly on 2nd down there, just to get a little bit of breathing room in case you have to punt the football. But this pass rush there by the Broncos, they're not giving Drew a ton of time back there to throw. You see he had to scramble and launch it. You see his numbers there on 3rd down for both teams. But Western Michigan's defense, I mean, they finished last week up very strong, scoring on defense, and they're carrying it over into this week 2.
Mestemaker, be careful. Oh, and it's caught. He tight-roped the sidelines, avoiding a Dan Orlovsky moment, and then showed off the arm strength. What a catch here and a throw. Evans got it from Mestemaker.
I mean, he's big time. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, that throw right there is a Sunday afternoon throw.
And now a bit of lightning up the middle. McGill bursts ahead. Gain of 8 on 1st down. We got to go back and watch this play from Mestemaker. Evans, the great catch, but Drew almost runs out of the back of the end zone here.
Yeah, as you see the pressure, but Western Michigan just fell asleep in coverage, but they are breaking their routes off. They understand where they need to be on the field, and so does Mestemaker, and that's why you saw that ball placement.
Back to the ground. Nothing. The space was swallowed by Marcel Tyler.
Big fella Tyler getting some penetration. You see the tempo here. That was a read play where he was left unblocked on purpose, but he was able to show a lot of discipline there. It's called a squat and squeeze technique, where you sit and wait with some patience and then make the play.
Sibley's the back, 3rd down 2.
Western Michigan, second charge, timeout, 30-second timeout.
See if that comes into play here too. They'll only have the 1 timeout left in the half. North Texas gets the ball to start the second half.
I don't think Western Michigan were like the call they were in defensively when you saw North Texas put 3 bunched up receivers to the short side. They were going to get a quick throw right there. It's called a quick screen. 2 blockers in front. All you need is 2 yards. And I don't think, coming from the booth, eyes down on the field, they didn't like the set. They'd like to talk about that first.
Chris O'Leary last year was the safeties coach for the LA Chargers. Yeah, same staff as Jim Harbaugh. He said, I've got a lot of stories. I don't know how many I can tell you in a short time. But before he was with Coach Harbaugh, he spent the prior 6 years on Notre Dame's staff with Lance Taylor. And Coach Taylor told us, I honestly can't believe we got Chris to come back. But Chris believes in what Lance Taylor is building here in Kalamazoo.
Yeah, Chris comes from good coaching stock. He knows what he's doing.
Pressure coming. Mestamaker is going down. Oh, they're starting to get home. McGraw was in there. Tucker was in there.
That's why that timeout was worth it. They needed to talk about it, get into a better look defensively. You see the 6-man blitz. That's what caused Mestamaker to hold on to the football. He didn't have all day. He took away his primary read, and the pocket just collapsed. But Western Michigan called that timeout because they didn't like what they were in on 3rd down from the field.
4th punt of the game for Sawyer Evans. And this one, not that great. Western Michigan has won the field position battle all day. And in what could be their final drive of the first half, they will start darn near in North Texas field position.
That's one way you slow down a high-powered offense. Ball control, field position, and you score. So when you look at those 3 things, I would give Western Michigan the advantage in all 3 of those areas. And it has prevented, with the exception of 1 drive, North Texas from really doing what they do, to go along with being able to rush the quarterback.
Lowry remains the quarterback. We haven't seen Jones since the 1st quarter. Back to Buckley. Stayed on his feet. What agility as he gets over that big Bronco logo in midfield. Tackled just shy of the 45.
It's a good solid run play. You pick up 6 yards like that on a split zone play where the line goes one way, the H-back comes behind the line and seals it. It's good vision there by Buckley. I think time management here, if you're Western Michigan, you don't have to rush. You obviously have the 2-minute timeout coming up, but you don't want North Texas to get the football back.
And again, they're going to get the ball to start the second half. Back to Buckley. And he's met. Right at the 45, Trey Fields slowed him up. It'll be 3rd down and short for Western Michigan after the 2-minute timeout. Western Michigan's coaching staff told us before this game, this ball game is simple. 1 sentence. Finesse against physicality. And right now, the physicality of Western Michigan is winning the day in Kalamazoo. You know, usually you don't have to worry with going shirtless in the first week of September, but it's football weather around here today. We're in the 50s at kick, and it's going to get down into the 40s tonight. They want to run the rock here at Western Michigan. Lance Taylor used to coach Christian McCaffrey at Stanford, and their lead back, Jalen Buckley's having a day. But he is off the field here on a 3rd down 2. They'll run with Lowry, and he's got the first down. Ran for the first touchdown of the season for the Western Michigan Broncos earlier in this half, and he's keeping this drive moving.
Yeah, they're playing bully ball on short yardage. They're just going to pack you in there with tight ends, get a little motion. You have a running quarterback like Brock, he's going to put his head down and won't be denied for that too. And actually Buckley, I'm sorry, the running back was the lead blocker on that play, and that always adds another dimension.
Devin Miles now the back, and he's tripped up. Got him by his shoelaces as he started to burst into that hole. That was Richard Outland Jr. who slowed him up.
See, Western Michigan going tempo here. They're making 2 calls at a time from the sideline.
Miles again tripped up by his shoes. And now North Texas will use the timeout.
North Texas, second charge timeout, 30-second timeout.
This is, Marcus, where we do get to the point game within a game, right? You got Eric Morris on one side and Lance Taylor on the other side. They're kind of playing chicken with those timeouts. Who's going to call the timeout? It reminds me of the famous Super Bowl where Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll, when famously Marshawn Lynch didn't get the football. Coach Belichick tells the story about how he was just staring on the other side of the field and wondering if anyone was going to call timeout. There is an element of this here now with 1:14 to go in the first half, with Lance Taylor and Eric Morris each having the 1 timeout left. Coming up at halftime, we'll take a peek around the Mid-American Conference and some of the action today, and also get you the first half highlights and stats here from Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo.
I think this is an interesting call on 3rd down because of where they are on the field. Depending on how many yards they get here, where they go for it, especially with the time on the clock.
Buckley is the running back. They give it to him, and he's got the first down. Jalen Buckley is eating this afternoon at Waldo Stadium.
Yeah, you'll see here it's called a power read, where the running back goes across the face of the quarterback. And if he pulls it, he'll go straight. And that's a dual read for the defense. Is it going to be a sweep or a keep down the middle with a running quarterback? Good call.
Lowry keeps. Plunges ahead. Keeps the legs moving up to the 29-yard line. Clock moving. No one calls timeout. Quick to the line. Lowry turns. Buckley with that lower leg drive, inching toward the 20. He's down at the 21. And again, nobody calls timeout.
Little cat and mouse game there with those timeouts.
And remember, Western Michigan doesn't have much of a kicking game. Buckley gets the first down. Chains will move here and stop the clock.
Well, I don't think North Texas wants to use their timeout now. It won't benefit them as much because probably won't get the football back if they don't get a stop here.
Lowry's going to throw. He's going to take a shot to the end zone. Flag out. A bunch of them. They're going to get David Fisher. They were hoping for Balin Brooks.
What a gutsy call to go up top in that situation.
Fisher, the senior from Houston, came over from Sam Houston with the entire defensive coaching staff.
There are 3 fouls on the play. Pass interference, offense, number 82. Pass interference, defense, number 1. Illegal formation, offense, 5 players in the backfield. Those fouls offset. Replay, first down.
That's why there were so many flags in the field on that play.
You have 5 guys on the backfield. That means someone is not on the line somewhere on the outside, one of the receivers or tight ends.
And the offensive pass interference must have come before you saw that tug of the jersey from Fisher. Now he's going to run. Brock Lowry tackled at the 10 with another flag down.
Also, when you go tempo like that, you don't give your guys a chance to get lined up.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
At this point, though, when that happens back-to-back, that's on Brock. He has to take his time, scan the field, and make sure everyone is lined up. Say, hey, Evan, scoot up. Get on the line, buddy. Or, because especially after those penalties at offset, if you look at it, nope, the outside receiver here looks like Brooks. He's the one that needs to be up on the ball a lot further. If you see where that ball is on the 12-yard line, he's on the 13.
So the clock's running here. Western Michigan's got the timeout, and they'll just elect to.
Western Michigan, third and final timeout.
And now for an offense that passed up a field goal from a similar spot in the field earlier on in the first half.
Please put 2 seconds on the game clock.
They try one here. Be about a 39-yarder from this spot. Last week, they used Hunter Smith to try a field goal at Michigan State. Plummer Domschke has been handling the extra points, and he's the one listed on the depth chart as the starting kicker, but they did not use him last week, and you can see that brace on his right leg. He has made a 52-yarder in his career, but that came 3 seasons ago at Miami, Ohio.
Even with the penalties, I still think that was good clock management, good play calling by Western Michigan to end this half, however this kick goes, without allowing North Texas to get in a 2-minute offense.
It's officially a 40-yarder, and Palmer Domschke has got it. Western Michigan coaching staff told us before this game, the first ever time that North Texas is playing Western Michigan. This one is finesse against physicality. We are challenging our group to take it to North Texas. And 30 minutes into the football game, they are passing this test. That North Texas offense can explode on a moment's notice, but they have been grounded mostly on this gray Saturday in Kalamazoo. Bronco offense starting to hum. They got a 10-point lead at recess at Waldo Stadium. Mid-American Conference fans are going to like seeing this score at Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo. Western Michigan taking on North Texas for the first time ever. And the Broncos got a 17-7 lead on a North Texas team that statistically was one of the best offenses in the country last season. It's a Saturday in September, so there's a lot going on around the league. There's going to be some teams that Texas Tech does that to this year. That is a very talented Texas Tech team. Kent State, big win for them last week to get off the schneid. You know, that was a close game at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, but Panthers end up pulling away against the Chippewas. So got to play one more road game before finally they get a home game in a couple of weeks. Ohio nearly got Rutgers last week, and so far, Miami, Ohio has given the Scarlet Knights a good battle 15 minutes in. That ball game is 7-7. Buffalo taking care of business. They're at home today and leading St. Francis of Pennsylvania by a 24-0 score. That game is in the second quarter. Marcus and I were in Bowling Green last week as the Eddie George era began. They need some Pudge the Cat magic at halftime. Cincinnati is leading Bowling Green 21-3. Elsewhere around the Mid-American Conference today, it's a big one. Ohio sold out. They've got West Virginia in town, and they are in a dogfight. They battled last week, and they're battling this week. OU, oh yeah, trying to get a win today, but they are down to West Virginia 7-3. That ball game in the second quarter. Apparently there was a tornado warning, so right now the UMass-Bryant game is delayed. Excited to have UMass back in the Mid-American Conference this year, and that ball game has been delayed. And there is more action for you later on tonight. Hope you can join us to watch some of the action going on tonight. Toledo trying to get a win. They played Kentucky really well on the road last week, but faltered late. Down the road in Ypsilanti, Eastern Michigan's got their home opener against LIU. Ball State on the road at Auburn, and Akron goes to Nebraska, who got that big win in week 1 last week. More halftime coming up from Kalamazoo right after this. Back at Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo, first ever meeting between the Mean Green of North Texas and the Broncos of Western Michigan. The all-new ESPN is here. For the very best experience, all you need to do is follow these 3 simple steps.
First, you'll need the ESPN app on your connected TV or favorite device. If you have it, open it up. If you don't, download it now. Next, click on the live event or ESPN show you want to watch. Then choose your TV provider and log in. You're all set. It's all of ESPN, all in one place. Go to support.espn.com to learn more.
And if you need more MAC football, ESPN Plus has got a slew of games coming for you next Saturday. Ball State welcomes in New Hampshire. That'll be at 2 Eastern. Toledo, which played Kentucky really well on the road last week, hosts Morgan State. That game at 3:30. And Eddie George gets to coach his second game at home for Bowling Green. Got a win in week 1 in the home debut last week against Lafayette. And he's got a tricky matchup coming up. Liberty's always really talented, and they're taking on Bowling Green next week at kick at 5 Eastern on ESPN Plus. More MAC American action. North Texas and Western Michigan continues right after this. Feels like fall around here today. Those leaves are still green, but I did see some changing leaf colors on the drive in. It is football season in Kalamazoo, and they've got to be loving what they're seeing at Waldo Stadium. Their team's up by 10 at the break. Marcus Wright, Evan Stockton back with you. Marcus, Western coaching staff told us coming into the game, this is simple. Their finesse against our physicality, and physicality is winning the day so far.
Yeah, it has, and it started with running the football. Obviously, Jones started at quarterback. They made the switch, and they changed their game plan, and they decided to get this young man Buckley the football. You'll see here in between the tackles, stumbling, bumbling. You see the numbers, 18 for 71, catching the ball out of the backfield. He even had one touchdown, so he's been able to move the chains. I've liked how they moved him around. The defense has played lights out, but everything's been going through him. Buckley, also Brock Lowry. As you'll see, this young man here has had a great career, though. He's been stuffing the stat sheet in this conference for a couple of years.
Western Michigan last week and Michigan State didn't really figure out who the lead quarterback was, didn't really figure out who the lead running back was. Maybe they're figuring it out today in their first ever meeting against North Texas. Second half coming up. Western Michigan trying to close it out here at home. Back in Kalamazoo, first home game of the year for Western Michigan. Big game coming up next week. They're going on the road against an Illinois team that a lot of people think is going to make noise in the Big Ten. But so far today, Western Michigan looks good. 17-7 lead over North Texas as we approach the start of the second half. Again, Marcus, we keep talking about how Western Michigan in this fight was trying to dictate the style. We want to run the rock. We want to hang on to the ball. We want to play field position. And they are doing every single thing right so far in this game.
Yeah, and this game could be a little more lopsided had they executed a little better on the first couple of drives. But to your point, I like the strategy. It was a heavyweight fight. Was it going to be finesse versus physicality? Well, I'll tell you what, when you shorten the game, you score, you don't beat yourself with turnovers, you keep the other team off the field, hey, you'll be up 10 points. And then we'll see what the strategy is. I think we'll see if North Texas comes out with some field position, if they're going to open it up and do what they do, but they have to protect the quarterback a little better.
Hunter Smith showed off the powerful right leg and a couple of kicks for Western Michigan in that first half. He kicks off to start the second half. Simeon Evans has a chance for a return. He's up the field and tripped up as he got across the 20 to the 25. Again, those first half stats, Western Michigan dominating time of possession, converting on third down, and they have well over 100 more rushing yards. Like we're talking about check, 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 what they wanted to do to win the ball game.
Definitely 60% on third down. A lot of those were third and short. Pass yards, hey, right there with North Texas. This is not the North Texas team offense that we all have seen in the past, but they haven't had the ball very long either.
Long way to go in this game, but right now it's all Western Michigan. Yet again, there's just absolutely no running lane. Tucker, Tyler, a whole bunch of Broncos in there.
Well, you'll see the get off from the defensive line. Almost could have been offside, but it's like almost like they know the cadence. I mean, they're up the field. You see Tucker, big game Dame. We talked about him in the top of the show, and you see why. But his first step, it's almost like you can't block him. He's a stand-up rush guy, and he can also drop and pass.
Sibley, the guy in motion. Mestemaker, incomplete. Hoping for Evans, and Sims, the former Central Michigan Chippewa, had the coverage.
Let's take a look here. You'll see to the left of your screen, it's just an inward breaking slant route, and they were in zone coverage. That was the only receiver over there. Sims was able to suffocate that route, sit on it, play to his help, get a hand on the football. Be interested to see if North Texas can push the ball down the field and try to attack these linebackers instead of the corners.
They gotta get to the 38. Set up screen. Sibley's got it. Kiefer Sibley, what a call. Late flag as he was dragged down in front of the Western Michigan bench. Kiefer Sibley has bailed them out a couple of times on third down in this game.
Yeah, I wonder what that call's going to be over there. I mean, we'll see. That's a good call on third down. Big screen and draw down. But Tate Halleck made a great tackle in open space to a veteran safety.
Lance Taylor, Western's coach,
Offense.
likes this call.
22. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Third down.
Take it off the board. That's the first penalty of the game for North Texas.
Well, it's a spot foul, so it's not like they lost. There's a new line of scrimmage and then negates the first down, but it's 3rd and 8 now instead of 3rd and 13.
Still got to get to that 38-yard line. Sibley motions back into the backfield. And they give it to him on a draw. It worked again. Kiefer Sibley, a physical end to the run. And North Texas does get the first down after all.
Yeah, they're running the ball because Western Michigan's in that 3-man front. There's all types of run lanes. Defensive backs are too far away to support the run. That was a great call, great execution.
Now they're going quick. Mestemaker down the field. Did he stay in bounds? He did not. Trying to tightrope that sideline along the far sideline. Landon's sides couldn't keep his feet in.
One thing about a quarterback that that determines if you can play on Sundays. Can you defeat tight coverage? That's the one thing. That ball placement there, you get the left leg in, that is a big completion. Can you defeat tight coverage? That's what they want to know on Sundays besides the IQ.
Pass. The previous play is under review.
And they're thinking, Marcus, what you were thinking, man, the sides on first look, this is awfully close.
I mean, if you look, well, both feet are off the ground right there when the ball is in his hands. And they never really made, well, that left foot, there was a little dirt. That top of that toe kicked up some rubber.
Yep.
Now, we don't know if the side touched the line. But that ball placement, because that was actually good coverage. But a great throw will beat good coverage on any day.
This is brand new turf they're debuting here at Waldo Stadium today, by the way.
Landon Sides trying to make up for the holding penalty on the screen pass, but I mean, he has possession.
Well, if you roll that back, right, the key was his right leg down as he possessed the ball initially. So watch here. Watch his right leg as he goes and possesses the ball. Is it down? From that angle, it looks like both feet were in the air, and then when he starts coming down, it looks like the left leg lands out of bounds before the right leg could tap inbounds. It's close, though.
They're not afraid to take a shot. I mean, even if they feel like they don't have the matchup they like on the outside, they like the quarterback. They like Drew being able to launch that football and being able to give them a chance to have a chance.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Second down.
That is new language this season, by the way. There is no such thing as the call is stands or confirmed. It is now just upheld. It's a heck of an effort by Landon Sides, the junior from Denton, Texas. Really good track athlete in high school. Ran the hurdles, long jumper. Second down. Estemaker rolling and throwing. Wide open man. Evans sat down and got the first down for North Texas.
Yeah, that's called a dash, where you look one way. If you don't like it, then you take off and sprint out the other way. So great call.
Going quick. McGill. Momentum for North Texas offensively. Awfully close to another first down. He's about a yard or so shy. And a rare successful run for North Texas in this game. Yeah,
when given the field position, you see the potential and explosiveness of this offense. When they were backed up, they had a different feel, different identity there. I'm sure Coach Morris will address that. But when they've had some breathing room, they've been able to move the football.
Estemaker caught for another first down. There's Sides. He was definitely inbounds that time. And the drive is into the red zone for the Mean Green.
That's a pre-snap read there. You'll see he understood. And Sides cut his split, meaning he lined up further away from the sideline to give himself room to run that out. Estemaker knew exactly where he was going with the football.
His third start since the 9th grade.
Keep an eye right here on Miles Coleman, number 1, right in the middle.
Roll to the right again. That's who they get it to. Coleman out of bounds, but he's got the first down. Estemaker and Coleman have been playing pitch and catch since Little League. Up through high school and now in college, you could tell they were in sync.
Well, that's the matchup that you want. One of your best athletes on the inside, matched up either on a safety or a linebacker with a lot of room to work in this left, right, straight kind of three-way go. Comes from my playing days, buddy. I couldn't check guys like Coleman back in the day.
At least you're honest. They'll give it to McGill, and he's stonewalled. He'd stumble ahead inside the 5 to the 4. Second down and goal.
Well, where there's no grass behind you, you're going to see defensive backs and linebackers press that line. And if you're going to run the ball from a spread formation, you're going to have to get a hat for a hat. You can't miss any blocks. That's good run support there for the Broncos.
Mestemaker knocked down. Kershawn Fisher got in the passing lane, and it's 3rd down and goal.
Transfer from Nichols. New Orleans product. I tell you what, man, Western Michigan has some athletes on the edges. And it's a certain body type that I'm noticing, 6'2", 250, 6'3", 250. Because it's a hybrid kind of deal. You can put your hand down and rush. 3-4 outside backer. When you're in this area of the field, though, that ball has to get out quick.
Coleman, the man in motion. Mestemaker looking his way. Corner of the end zone. Missed sides. Western Michigan's coaching staff told us before the game, we know they're going to move down the field, but bend, don't break, because when they get in this spot of the field for North Texas, the space just shrinks.
Yeah, I think the pressure by Franklin affected Mestemaker's timing. Got rid of it a little bit too soon, even though he took the hit. It's a big red zone route there where you get a speed out and a corner route right over top of it.
22-yarder for Kali Agunma. And he got it. If you're an offensive coach, you want every drive to end in a kick. And that one ended in a chip shot field goal for North Texas. The Western Michigan lead has been slimmed to 7. This is a remarkable story in the world of college football. Drew Mestemaker is making just his 3rd start today since the 9th grade. And he clearly has the respect of the rest of his teammates on the sideline. So Drew in high school went to the same high school as Miles Coleman, one of the best wide receivers for North Texas. Drew was stuck behind one guy at quarterback who's now a Division I catcher at Baylor and another guy who's playing at Louisville. Drew, his senior year, just went to the coach and said, I want to play. So he was the punter, and they put him at safety. But Drew never gave up on his dream to be a quarterback. So he ends up going to North Texas. He's a walk-on. He's a camp arm. And the coaches just kept noticing when Drew was in the game, the offense was moving down the field. So Mestemaker ends up being the backup last year, and now he's the starter this year. Western Michigan trying to run a little bit of trickery, and a weird-looking start to the return ends up looking beautiful. Boone Nelson, I don't know how he got all the way down there, but this turns into a good return.
Yeah, they had some mishaps on the return, like right there, you, me. So they got a very fortunate bounce or tip back to each other, and then it threw off the return, and hey, finished the play. Boone Nelson with an excellent return to flip the field.
Nearly 100 kick return yards in this game for Western Michigan. And unfortunately, we have a member of North Texas down right around the 25-yard line. Come back to Kalamazoo after this. Western Michigan hoping to build on their lead in the home debut this season. Play for Miami. So I have been told that is real money. They do an honest-to-God money grab here at Waldo Stadium. I mean, the biggest thing I take away from this is look at the restraint from Buster the Bronco. Didn't hop in there and get a few bucks for himself. Good on you, Buster.
I wonder how much time you get in there, man.
I'm sure that one was thinking not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough time.
Money was flying in fast, making it rain in there.
Great kickoff return by Kevin Boone Nelson for Western Michigan has the Broncos set up here. Brock Lowry is still the quarterback. Brady Jones got the start, but we were told two different quarterbacks would play in this game for Western Michigan. And Marcus, you keep talking about it. As soon as number 12 in white came in the game, this offense just started to open up for Western Michigan.
Yeah, and I think the luxury they have as you look at Brock's numbers, 3 of 5, 66 yards, touchdown, see the rushing numbers at the bottom. It comes down to the flavor of the situation, flavor of the week. I just think Brock's game plan with him just works out better, and that's why they've stuck with him.
They're liking this flavor. Gets it out to Bosma again. North Texas rallies to the football. Trey Fields, number 6, one of the men bringing down Big Bosma. Third down coming up.
Well, Western wants to run the ball, and anytime you have a quarterback who can add to the run game, it gives you another dynamic, something else to defend. But if you can stop the run, as you take a look at your third downs, you can stop the run. Is Lowry the guy you want to go down the field? So I think they felt comfortable watching the film. Western Michigan felt like they could run the football against North Texas. That's why I think Brock's in, so that he can complement with the play action in his run game.
They've converted 3 third downs in a row. Not going to happen here. Witter, the linebacker, had the coverage, and he cannot believe they just threw a flag.
It's interesting because, see, if there was some contact there, you're allowed to face guard in high school and college. Face guard.
Interference, defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's interesting because if he would have turned around and played the ball, I think he would have had an interception. I think Coach Morris is talking about that. You take a look, just a wheel route. Just means a running back or slot goes up the field. I just don't see the contact. I mean, that's a tough one. And that's what Coach Morris is probably complaining about, because what more do you want the guy to do besides turn around and intercept it?
Drive continues for Western Michigan. Reverse coming back this side. And Leary is tackled. They ran that same exact play last week at Michigan State, and Trey Fields clearly saw it on tape.
Yeah, he's one of those Sam Houston linebackers that came over with Coach O'Leary. But as you see, the speed and space, Western Michigan with a little triggeration off their running game, trying to get some wideouts for football.
On defense.
Fields, after making the tackle, is down. The crowd here in Kalamazoo is booing. There is a new rule this year that if the ball is spotted and a player goes down, that team is assessed a timeout, or if they're out of timeouts, it's a 5-yard penalty. But because both players went down before the ball was spotted, no timeout.
See it right there, 5-yard penalty. No timeouts remaining.
So Fields is coming off, and there also is another member of the defense that is down. And now he's risen to a seat and up. That's good to see. That's David Fisher. You know, Marcus, I think it's important to remind people that just because it is kind of a chilly day for first week of September here in the Midwest, cramping is still a thing, even if it's 50-something degrees. It doesn't have to be 85 to cramp, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that, man. And sometimes it could be diet, it could be water, it could be just traveling. Sometimes you sit on those planes for a long time and you don't feel it till the next day, but long bus rides. But cramping is definitely still a thing.
Ethan Day and the rest of that defensive line for North Texas, hoping to bend and not break here. 2nd down, 8 for Western Michigan. Lowry gives. Miles runs. Tapped his feet. Mark him down at the 11. The line to gain was just inside that 11-yard line. And they have ruled it'll be 3rd down. Very short coming up. Will Jones helped to make the tackle.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons that 3rd down percentage has been pretty high for Western Michigan. They haven't had a lot of negative plays. They haven't got behind the sticks. 3rd and 1 is a feast or famine situation defensively. Do you go an all-out blitz to get the stop? Or do you line up and just try to play base defense and see if you can stop them that way?
Give Buckley. Didn't need a lot. Didn't gain a lot. But he got a Western Michigan 1st down. 1st and goal coming up.
Got to give a lot of credit to this offensive line. They normally rotate 7 or 8 deep. That's how many they played 9 linemen last 2 seasons. Last week they played 7 or 8 guys. Coach told us he wants to keep them fresh for a game like this. He wants to have fresh legs in there so they can continuously run the ball with fresh offensive linemen to wear down the defense.
Williams motions into the backfield. They end up giving it to Buckley. And Witter in on the tackle again. Shane Witter, number 7 for North Texas. Spent the first 4 college seasons at Oklahoma. Was mainly a special teamer. It's his 6th overall season of college football. And he makes a nice play here.
Yeah, he's been flying around. He was the man that was flagged for the pass interference. But he's had a pretty solid day. I mean, 5 tackles last week, 2 quarterback hurries.
Lowry to throw. Now Brock's running. Brock Lowry!
Excellent drive. Started with the kick return, got a short field. But Lowry is playing in the rhythm. They're able to convert third downs. But you'll see here, he goes to looks to his left. He doesn't like what he sees. And as a defensive lineman, you're taught to never
the
get
field
deeper than the
touchdown.
quarterback.
The previous play is under review.
This would be his third total touchdown today. It would be 2 rushing, 1 passing. They'll take a look. But that's what Brock Lowry brings. When there isn't a whole heck of a lot, he can make something happen after all.
Looks like he crossed that plane. The right knee looked like it was touching at the same time the ball crossed. But when nothing was there, he was able to make something happen and out-athlete the defense here. Now you turn into a running back. Tuck the ball high and tight and get downhill. Get your shoulders going forward. Take a look and see. That may be an uphill call. It's not enough there to say he didn't get in, but good coverage by North Texas, but you just can't give up the middle if you're Trey Fields. Looked like he was spying Lowry, and he just shifted too far to his right. Opened up the pass lane and rush lane for him. We'll see what the call is.
Rick Warren, our referee today.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Touchdown.
Brock Lowry came into the game, marched the Broncos down the field, got him 6. He hasn't left the field since, and an offense that didn't score a single point last week at Michigan State, on the verge of 24 this week.
I think last week, because they were playing from behind too, they had to throw the ball a lot more, so you saw Brady a lot more. So I think that's what they meant by the way the game was playing out.
Palmer's got the good vibes. That thing bangs off the upright and in. They count all the same. And Domsky's PAT is throw, and Western Michigan's lead is up to 14. First time ever that these two have played, and the Broncos are winning the day. Brock Lowry and the Western Michigan offense have found something in the last couple of quarters. Another successful drive that ends in a Lowry touchdown run. That one 7 plays, 41 yards in about 4 minutes. 4-6 passing, but those rush yards as well, Marcus. Just two sides to the coin for Brock Lowry that have confused North Texas in this game.
He's averaging 9 yards per rush. I mean, that's almost a first down every time he takes off with 2 rushing touchdowns. But you could thank Boone Nelson and that kickoff return team for getting to that other 40 with a plus 41 for that offense. So all 3 phases are playing complementary football. They're playing off of each other. Special teams getting field position, offense scoring, and then defense getting the ball back.
Hunter Smith has been a busy man today for the Broncos. Simeon Evans to return it again. Evans has got some room. And then the kicker, Hunter Smith, pushes him out of bounds. The angle was correct, and Evans wasn't too happy the kicker pushed him out. He's still upset.
He had a nice seam there on that right side, just didn't have enough grass. I thought they blocked that pretty well. That kick was a little high, and as you see, that's right where you want the ball to hit. That's where you pull out your stiff arm, man.
Smith held his ground. McGill's got a lane. Mackenzie McGill won't go down. And a strong start to the drive as North Texas and Mackenzie McGill get into the secondary on the run.
McGill had 10 touchdowns last year. I'll tell you what, he had some sweet feet on that with the fancy footwork. That's that off-season jump cut running back workout you just saw on display.
North Texas about to be backed up.
False start. Offense. Number 70. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's Tayonta, the listed center for North Texas. Marcus, you talked about how Jim To'obi-Degwu, their usual right tackle, is not playing, so Larry Moore slated to shift into his place. It's the 3rd penalty of the game on North Texas. Mestemaker on the move. Drew Mestemaker. That is an element of his game. Those big long strides for the 6'4" quarterback. And North Texas on the move again.
That was a heads-up play right there by Drew to be able to read the coverage and keep the football.
McGill slips free. Slowed up again. Joshua Franklin got to him as he got into the secondary. The run game's starting to work for North Texas.
A lot of times when you go tempo, it's an automatic run play, especially after a big play. Get a first down and you go tempo. It's going to be a quick hitter up the middle.
Play fake. Pop pass over the middle. Touchdown. Trey Williams, his first touchdown at North Texas. There is a flag behind the play. And that's why everyone wearing green has that look on their face. He's looking to the Western Michigan sideline.
That was a big-time play call, too.
Touchdown is good. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, number 67. That's his first of the game for an ejection. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
It's on the left tackle, Braden Nelson. It's now twice we have seen personal foul penalties after touchdowns. Let's get a look at that first.
See, what they did there is they gave a little play fake. They gave the illusion that it was going to be a handoff. And when you see Williams come from the other side to slip out, you can lose track of him in between those linemen. That was a great, well-executed play.
Every time today when you think Western Michigan may be pulling away, North Texas, to quote our friend Lee Corso, says, not so fast, my friend. Trey Williams was really good at Limestone University last year in South Carolina. He led tight ends in Division II, nearly 60 catches, nearly 800 yards, and 8 touchdowns. So he's used to getting into the end zone. North Texas answers the bell. And now that defense, Marcus, has got to find a way to slow down Brock Lowry in the Western Michigan offense.
Well, it's going to start with field position, and then they have to win on first and second down. They have to get Western Michigan in long yardage and force them to put the ball in the air. But if they continue to let them run first and second down and get in third and short, then this score is probably not going to change. So one of the things you have to do is get more aggressive. But when you have a quarterback like Lowry who can run, you don't want to get too aggressive because he'll get up out of there on you. So it comes a cat and mouse game, but it starts with this play right here on this kickoff return. They need better kickoff coverage.
And remember, too, this is a kickoff coming from the 20 because of that penalty on Nelson after the touchdown. Devin Miles has had over 50 yards of kick return yards today. Gunma drives him back. Caught right around the 12. Miles coming up the right side. Won't go down. And yet again, Western Michigan's kick return unit is going to give the Broncos some really nice starting field position. Defensive staff for North Texas, led by Skylar Cassidy, came over from Sam Houston. Pretty much the whole staff came with him. And 5 guys on the defensive side played at Sam Houston last year. That was a really good team, by the way. They went 10-3.
Yeah.
Western Michigan has presented a different challenge, though, for them today. Turn and give. And the defensive line for North Texas doesn't yield very much on that run by Devin Miles. It'll be second down and about 8 for the Broncos.
Western Michigan has been in control of this game from the starting point until now, Evan. But it's just, you just don't have a sense that they're pulling away or they're running away with the game. North Texas is right there. And a great offense has the ability to protect the lead, score fast, and protect the ball. And North Texas possesses all 3.
Another give to Miles. Kept the legs moving. Got across the 45 to the 47-yard line. This will keep them ahead of the chains and make it a third down and very manageable. North Texas defense that pitched a shutout last week against Lamar. They won 51-0. First shutout for the North Texas football program since 2003.
And they were able to do that by creating turnovers and getting Lamar behind the sticks.
Buckley back in, and on cue, it's a run for a first down. Yeah, he has just been a weapon today for Western Michigan.
This offensive line, just zone blocking. You see Terrence Marshall, number 11, the wide receiver, getting in the mix too, blocking linebackers and getting downfield. If you're going to have an effective run game, those receivers are going to have to get physical too.
Play fake. Lowry is sacked. Ethan Day gets home. Second straight week with a sack for Ethan Day.
Yeah. And you'll see right here from the right of your screen, he just made a move. Got up the field and took a while for that play to happen. But as you see, Habowski just didn't get a solid block on Day. But Day did a nice job with his hands. He understood that that was a bootleg pass and got a lot of penetration.
There is room for Buckley. Jalen Buckley, how about that run on second down and 19? Western Michigan says, all right, no problem. Buckley can get us the first down.
Yeah, they ran a counter play here where you line up strong and pull some guys and run weak. And you'll see the vision, the cutback lane there and the blocks downfield. Excellent job there. Malik Dudon, 17 with a good block, but the patience that he showed and the vision, the footwork, that's an excellent run. That's why we talked about that young man at halftime, and you saw the reason why.
Miles is in, and Devin's running into a wall. Got back to the line, and that's it. Another side effect there, Marcus, of that big gain for Buckley to get the first down. This allows Western Michigan to kill a ton more clock, too. They're going to at least get this to the end of the third quarter on this drive.
Yeah, they're not in any rush. They have momentum. They have a one-score lead. They're controlling the clock. Great field position here. So we'll see what they come up with. But I tell you what, they responded well when they gave up a sack on the play action pass, come back, run the ball with confidence.
Lowry running. And North Texas is now wise to what Brock Lowry's presenting them running the football. Trey Fields got him, and that will probably take us to the end of the quarter.
Yeah, there's that flare draw action again where send the running back out early. If you like it, you throw it. If not, he takes off running. That time North Texas snuffed it out.
Western Michigan has converted 5 straight third downs. But Marcus was just talking about North Texas has got to find a way to get Western Michigan into third down and long. And that is exactly what is staring Brock Lowry, Lance Taylor, and the Western Michigan Broncos in the face as we go to the fourth quarter. Football home game #1 this year for Western Michigan. First ever meeting between North Texas and Western Michigan. American against MAC. And we got a dogfight as we're going to the fourth. Yes, the first ever College World Series was not at Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska. It was here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. You'll learn something new every day. Western Michigan with a 7-point lead in the football as we start the fourth quarter. Lance Taylor built his coaching DNA on running the football. He coached some really good ones. At Stanford, Christian McCaffrey, Bryce Love, Kyron Williams at Notre Dame, and Jalen Buckley has been added to that list today. Got a 3rd down and 7 here. Lowry is running, and he does not get the first down. He's tackled in the hole by Evan Jackson, the safety, and Western Michigan immediately brings extra bodies onto the field. And Lowry's coming off the field. You know, this would be interesting if they end up kicking this, and they are going to try a field goal. They basically had this same field goal in the first quarter and passed it up. But they'll trust Palmer Domschke here from 43 yards. Biggest kick of the young season. Domschke swings the right leg. And he got the help again off the post. The last PAT went off the post and in. And this one is a doink that works out for Western Michigan.
Hey, I'd rather be lucky than good, man. I'll tell you, this 2-score lead's very important because Western Michigan has been able to control the clock, control the game, field position. North Texas is going to have to get a stop if they continue to score if they want to have a chance.
So Kalamazoo is pretty much the halfway point between Detroit and Chicago, and there's got to be a couple of Chicago Bears fans watching and going, why couldn't that happen in that playoff game a few years ago like that? Why does Domschke get a correct doink and he doesn't get a double doink?
Look at how short 36 yards, 9 plays. That's 4 yards of play. Look at the time that's being taken on. Even on the last scoring drive with 4 from the 41-yard line. I mean, they had made a conscious decision to keep the football. Lance Taylor had a lot of confidence on our conference call. He felt like his team could compete in a track meet or a street fight. Go toe-to-toe. Let's get in the phone booth, roll up the sleeves, and see who's tougher.
Long way to go. And this kick is going out of bounds. The North Texas offense that doesn't need a whole heck of a lot of help is getting some help.
Free kick out of bounds, kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
Smith's had a really good day on those kickoffs, but right there, a mistake.
Yeah, you don't want that, though, if you're a special teams coach. Transfer from Florida.
Drew Mestemaker back in the field. Shovel pass to the middle of the field. A lot of moving parts, and they don't gain a lot of yards. Maybe one, that's it, as Western Michigan's D snuffed out the shovel forward to Wyatt Young.
Yeah, they didn't block that one very well. If you look at the left side, they just didn't get a clean block because that play got blown up by Dane Tucker. I mean, that's called spilling the football when you hit the inside gap and make it bounce to the outside.
Back to the ground. Ooh, nice little shifty moves by Kiefer Sibley. And this sets up 3rd down 2 as the North Texas run offense, which struggled in the first half, it's found its footing in the second half.
Yeah, and what they're doing is called spread them and shred them. Is when you spread them out that way, a very aggressive defense, you create run lanes in between the tackles. Western Michigan's kind of doing the opposite, where they're condensing the formation and forcing everyone into the box, trying to outnumber at the point of attack.
Give Sibley. 1st down, North Texas. Needed 2, gained 3. Drive continues. Saipaia made the tackle. And now Sibley's hopping off the field.
They were 1 block away from springing that for a longer gain. I like what North Texas is trying to do as far as trying to run the football to stay out of long yardage in case you give up a sack on 1st down.
Mestemaker Rolling right. And finding someone on that right side. That's Trey Williams, who caught the touchdown in the last drive. Gains a couple of yards here on first down. Franklin made the tackle.
Franklin plays that nickel back. He was in his underneath coverage. Mestamaker went through his progression, didn't see anything downfield, and checked the ball down. That's a safe play. Glorified run. Every offense on first down wants to get a few yards to stay out of negative.
On the ground, McGill meets Saipaia in the hole, and a few other Broncos. But more yards, though. Third down and about 4 coming up.
I wouldn't tell you this is 4-down territory, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get this on third down that they would go for it.
Especially, too, North Texas's kicking game is shaky. Aguma, they don't trust for much more than 35, 40 yards.
Then you're down 2 scores.
Dame Tucker was trying to time up that blitz, and I think he jumped early.
Offside. Defense. Number 11. Unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's a rare mistake from a guy who has been living in the backfield the first 2 weeks of the year.
See to the left of your screen, he wasn't the only one that jumped. When he blew that dead, he was well past the line of scrimmage. Anything under 4 yards, under 5 yards is hard count alert.
Play fake for Mestamaker. He's got time, and he's got a wide open man. Landon sides roaming free. Tackled right around the 10. North Texas back into the red zone.
One of the things they do with this pass game off the play action here is they make the defense cover the entire field. What I mean by that is think about like 5 on the dice. Deep right, deep left, short right, right in the middle.
McGill gets inside the 5 to the 4. When you're playing a team like North Texas, that was statistically one of the best offenses in the country last year, 10.5 minutes may as well feel like 10.5 hours. Second down goal from the Western Michigan 4. Mestamaker throws, and Coleman drops it again. That's the second drop for Miles Coleman. Odd to see.
Yeah, he just didn't look the ball, man. Great play call, too. It's just a glorified toss sweep. It's a quick screen to the perimeter. And that's a pre-snap read. If he likes it, obviously Drew liked it. His ball placement was exactly where that ball was supposed to go.
Mestamaker on third down and goal. Throws to the end zone. That ball is caught. North Texas touchdown. Cameron Dorner went up and got it, and we are far from the finish line in Kalamazoo.
Mestamaker, he's a gunslinger. He kept his eyes downfield. Eric Morris drew up on a nice goal line. Let's just look at the route combination here to the right. So basically, you got just a seam route. He just bent it inside. Dorner, they liked the matchup, and he threw him open because that was good coverage.
First game this year at Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo, and the crowd that's here is getting treated to a heck of a football game. A couple of teams that have high hopes in their conferences this season are slugging it out in early September. North Texas will not go away. action never disappoints, and a fun one today early on in the year. North Texas out of the American has come up to Kalamazoo, and Western Michigan against the Mean Green. They've been slugging it out. Great one going on in Kalamazoo, and we're far from the finish line. If you need more MAC football, ESPN Plus has got 3 games coming for you next Saturday. Ball State will welcome in New Hampshire. Morgan State goes to Toledo, who's supposed to be really good again in the MAC. That one at 3:30, and then Bowling Green Liberty at 5 o'clock. All those times Eastern and on ESPN Plus. Eddie George's Bowling Green Falcons down by a couple of scores against Cincinnati right now in that game in the 4th quarter. Squib kick here. And the Broncos forced to fall on the football. Marcus, Western Michigan on the returns today has averaged nearly 30 yards per return. That's why they squibbed it. And now, judging by the way that North Texas's players and coaches are reacting, they're about to get a penalty here.
He ripped his helmet off.
Yeah, they were locked up. A little extracurricular activity. Couldn't tell just yet who it was between, but it's unfortunate because if it is against North Texas, you might as well kick it deep and let them return it way back out to the 50.
Right.
After the play, personal foul, kicking team, number 22. 15-yard penalty, first down.
It's on Julian Knox.
Please reset the game clock to 10:01.
And let's see what happened here.
It's going to be to the right of your screen. Right there. Just a little extra tussle. Slam down. Rip the helmet off. That's just a selfish play, man. You have to understand the situation in the game. You had no chance of making the tackle. Far away from the action. And it doesn't help a defense that's already been struggling to stop a Western Michigan that's been in rhythm all afternoon.
You know, those guys on special teams just trying to make plays. You get the effort, you get the enthusiasm, but a mistake like that, not to sugarcoat it, Marcus, that's the type of mistake that can lose you games.
Definitely. It doesn't do you any favors. It's a 3-point game with 10 minutes left. You can't afford to make those kind of mistakes. You just can't.
So now they're going to move the football up to the 44. Broncos, we're going to start inside the 30. Brock Lowry controlling those signals again. Buckley's got it again. Buckley trudges up near the 50-yard line. Yet another solid run for the redshirt junior from Aurora, Illinois.
Yeah, Western Michigan is really dominating the line of scrimmage. I think all 5 of their linemen collectively as a group have played well. We've seen a lot of Brock Lowry because the game plan was to run the ball, run some quarterback, and take what the defense gives you. And he's fit in perfectly as a complement to Buckley.
Back to him. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He does not have the first down yet, but the Broncos are only a yard shy of moving the sticks.
Now at this point, if you're Western Michigan, if you get another 5 or 6 minutes off that clock, they're taking their time, huddling. Don't need the tempo. One of the things they're doing too is they're playing relatively clean, meaning no penalties really, very minimal. Not turning the football over. When you play like that, man, your percentage of winning goes up.
Give Buckley, not gonna get there. Blown up in the backfield by Will Jones.
Will Jones comes off the edge there. They ran that right into the teeth of the defense. There was a lot of penetration there by Ethan Day. Will Jones has played a lot of football, man. 22 starts, very experienced. It's a heads-up play. They needed that one on 3rd down.
And North Texas's offense is about to get the football back if the Broncos don't fake it. Milmore does kick it. Coleman makes the fair catch inside the 15-yard line. North Texas, known for an air raid attack. And they're about to try to attack down the field and grab the lead back after we sort out the flag.
During the kick, holding, return team, number 87, half the distance to the goal, first down.
I think Eric Morris would be the first to tell you, has today been perfect for my team? No. Do they have a chance to turn around this game? Yes. Student section at Waldo Stadium hasn't really been frowning much of this game, but they're frowning right now because North Texas has got the football and they got the chance to take the lead. But it's going to be yet another long field for North Texas. Ryan Milmore making his bid for MAC Special Teams Player of the Week. Part of the way, Marcus, to slow down a great offense like North Texas is you got to have really good field position game and a really good punter, and Western Michigan's gotten that today.
Definitely. He's contributed in special teams, flipping the field, pinning them back deep. And that's helped the Western Michigan defense, especially when North Texas offense have started from this position.
Got to go 90-plus yards to take the lead or tie it. McGill starts with a run. He won't go down. Mackenzie McGill II with a strong start to the most important drive of the game for North Texas.
Yeah, North Texas has been able to run the ball pretty efficiently, too, here in the second half. And that's something they couldn't do in the first half to give themselves some breathing room. If they can push this bat out to the 20-yard line, then you'll see them open it up. But you'll just see just the outside zone play to the right side, getting a hat on a hat. Could have easily been a penalty there.
And here is a penalty.
We'll start. Offense, number 0. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
It's on the running back, McGill.
He's moving a little prematurely. A lot of those running backs get antsy. They'll get on the tips of their toes and get the leaning.
Estemaker to throw it. Shovel pass McGill. You know, that play worked earlier in the game to Sibley. It does not work here. Broncos snuffed it out.
Yeah, that was a screen. Shovel pass, screen, long yardage. Pretty obvious the defense was waiting on that one, especially with the offensive lineman really not blocking for very long, letting you get downfield. Stayed home right there on the inside.
Mestamaker falls down. McGraw had the pressure, and now the drive's going backward all of a sudden.
Self-inflicted wounds here. You'll see he takes a drop back. Took a while for those routes to develop. It's a good bull rush there on the outside. McGraw, I mean, he's been a problem all day long. That's called a bull rush. That's technically a sack.
3rd and a mile. They will run it with McGill. And he at least gives them a little breathing room. Does not get the first down, but now no longer would they have to punt from their own end zone.
Tate Howlett just saved a touchdown. Veteran safety, 6'4", 210. Transfer from Michigan State, pick 6 last week. That might have been the tackle of the game, because that was a draw play that actually split the defense down the middle. And he was one missed tackle away from a huge gain. That was a big-time tackle.
Sawyer Evans to punt it. Boone Nelson, fair catches at the 44. 5.5 to go. Western Michigan with the lead and the ball, trying to close it out.
Welcome back to Waldo Stadium here. Western Michigan up 27-24. Take a look at your left side of your screen. The big fella, Rodney McGraw, with the bull rush, the power rush on Nelson. It takes him all the way back where Drew Mestamaker gets rolled up. Technically, that's a sack, but it's been that type of pass rush all evening, all afternoon. That's stifled this pass game a little bit so far.
Broncos lead in the ball. Lowry flips it out. Bosma makes the catch. He does go out of bounds, but it's a good gain for the Broncos up to midfield. Each team has all the timeouts left, and the clock will now run after the solid gain on first down.
You got to like that call because it stretched the defense. It gets the quarterback on the perimeter, Lowry. And then Bosma, man, I think he's played fairly solid. He was a non-factor last week. It was a different kind of game. It wasn't a tight end-friendly score, if you will, in the first half. So the game got away from him, but they wanted to use him as a weapon, and he's been a vital part of the pass game today.
They run to his side here as Buckley's brought down from behind. That was Quentin Hammonds who got him. No gain on the play. And 3rd down 4 coming up.
This is the play of the game, I think, because if you get a 1st down, you can take more time off the clock, right? If you don't, then you have a chance to pin them down there. But this offense of North Texas is only down 3 points. They have a full slate of timeouts. Look for some play action pass here. I think Lowry had a chance to keep that ball there on that sweep keep is what you call that when the running back goes one way, quarterback up the middle. That was there if he would have kept it.
Give. Buckley met. He is short of the 1st down. He got to the 48. The line to gain is the 46. Does Western Michigan go for it? They've played field position pretty much the whole game when they've been in this spot. They've punted it. Does Lance Taylor roll the dice? The crowd wants him to.
I think you take a delayed game and punt. I do, because their offense, North Texas, has been way too efficient. Watch the hard count here.
North Texas, first charge timeout, 32nd timeout.
That could be a timeout that Eric Morris wants later in the game.
And you don't really know who's coming onto the field. When you see the offense huddle up like that, you don't know what personnel is coming out there, whether it's the punt team, whether it's the offense. I think you take the delayed game, try to get the hard count. They don't jump, take your 5 yards, boom it back, trust your defense to play lights out, and force them to go to the length of the field to kick a field goal. If you get stopped right here, you could give up a touchdown. Not only a field goal, you could give up a touchdown and then find yourself in a 2-minute drive.
Well, just what I'm wondering here is, as Western Michigan wanted to pound the rock and they're doing it, why North Texas call a timeout there?
I think they wanted to talk about it. Because you want to talk to your defense. You got a 2-minute timeout, too.
Yeah.
So
yep.
That kind of plays a factor in college football now, too. But I just think you want to talk to your defense, get on the same page. Now Western's coming out with their offense.
And they've got Lowry in the gun. Movement. Gavin Dabo, the right guard, jumped. And this will probably make the decision a lot easier.
And that's why you call timeout. It's like freezing a free throw shooter. It's like freezing a kicker. Think about it.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
It's a really talented redshirt freshman from Grove City, Ohio. But his mistake forces a punt.
You see to the right of your screen, 72, the big fella. You know, Grove City, Ohio, that's Southwest Columbus, my neck of the woods. We don't false start down in Columbus, man, I'll tell you.
Had to get that in there, didn't you? All right, Ryan Rumore's been really good today. Miles Coleman's hoping he gives him a chance for a game-breaking return. Gilmore's punt off the side of his foot. His worst of the day. And North Texas, which at times today has felt stalled offensively, hasn't quite come unglued offensively by their standards. They scored 51 points last week in week 1. They got a shot. 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout. 3:23 to go to win the game. And this is a spot where Eric Morris, the coaching staff, and North Texas fans are going, all right, here we go again. Another close one.
Someone's getting ready to earn their scholarship, NIL check, and these coaches. I mean, right here, this is the drive.
It starts with a mess to maker, drop back and sack. Franklin gets home. There is a flag in the secondary.
I really like the call to send pressure and send an athlete, nickelback. Josh Franklin off the edge. That was a tough block on the perimeter. You'll see him coming from the right side of your screen.
Holding. Defense, number 8. 10-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
It's on Javarius Sims. That sack doesn't count.
Yeah, and Trey Williams, the tight end, he didn't do a good job of looking outside to check the perimeter pressure. he didn't have anyone to block. And when you don't have anyone to block, Evan, you got to get your eyes outside. Someone's coming. Someone's responsible for the edge of the defense.
Clock is running toward 3 minutes left. Estemaker keeps, and he finds room. Escorted out of bounds by Sims, who just had that costly penalty. North Texas moving. First down, Drew Mestemaker.
This Mestemaker, man, is a great story. You told the story earlier, but just watch this here. You get a little quarterback action. They was not expecting him to run the football. That's one you keep in your back pocket. The former walk-on, a camp arm, right now has a chance to take his team to success if he keeps executing.
He's got time. Incomplete. High for his high school teammate Miles Coleman.
It's the third drop we've seen from Coleman. It's unfortunate too because he could have caught that ball on the run. That's called a mesh route. When you get two receivers crossing across the middle. Now that ball was high. Ball was high. Defensive linemen got their hands up. But that's the kind of call you make when you get man-to-man coverage.
Mestemaker play fake. Fastball middle. First down, North Texas. Dorner, who caught a touchdown earlier in this half, moves the sticks.
That route combination was a dagger. You'll see to the right of your screen. You get a vertical route, then you get the outside receiver running the 15 and in. Pow! Right there is good timing.
Pump, throw, incomplete. Camden, the pressure that forced the low throw.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 players in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And a similar type penalty on the last drive for North Texas. They had a false start on a 1st and 10 that turned it into 1st and 15, and the drive went nowhere after that. Similar deal here.
Now remember, North Texas is only down 3. They don't need a touchdown, but I think they're going to take their shots. But if they get another 10 yards, you'll see the play calling change just a little bit.
I don't really trust the kicking game past 40 yards. Mestemaker sets up middle screen. Wyatt Young with room. Out of bounds right near the 20. Halleck pushed him out exactly at the 20.
Just by design, that was excellent. When you send your running back out, looks like a drop back pass.
Timeout.
Wow, great design, well executed. Lineman downfield. That was an excellent play call.
Western Michigan's coaching staff told us before this game, it's finesse against physicality. Physicality has led most of the day, but down the stretch, finesse, trying to pull one out. This is North Texas's offense in a nutshell. Get them moving one way and come back the other way. Mestemaker finding Wyatt Young. He was a quarterback in high school. Coaching staff told us Wyatt's still learning how to play receiver. When he actually figures out how to play this position, he'll be pretty good. And North Texas is at the edge of the red zone, down by 3, 2 minutes to go. Give. McGill with room. Tightrope on the sidelines. That's Jaden Becks, his first carry of the game. And it's 1st and goal inside the 5.
Watch his blocking here. Just excellent on the split zone. Trey Williams showing up, the tight end, lining up in the backfield, kicking out the defensive end. Excellent cutback there for Becks. And right now, it's almost like North Texas was playing possum. They just said they're going to hang around and then make a move late. And right now, they have the momentum.
Play fake Becks. Mestemaker lets it fall. Fisher knocked it down. Second time in the red zone in this second half. Kershawn Fisher has knocked the Mestemaker pass down.
Yeah, 6'2", 246. Long and athletic. Got his hands up. If you can't get to the quarterback, you have to get your hands up. It looked like a run play, too. So he was able to play the run first and then get upfield to bat the pass down. Excellent job there by the young fella.
Give. Becks does not get there. Saipia, the first man to hit him. 3rd and goal.
First charge timeout. 32nd timeout.
Broncos will burn a timeout here.
Yeah, they're running that zone play with the lead back as a tight end. Good tackling there. When you get inside this area of the field, there's going to be more bodies towards that ball. Ooh-wee's chess match here. Coach Taylor wanted to stop that clock. He didn't want to let North Texas bleed it down. You have 3 timeouts. You burn one there. Hopefully, if you're Western Michigan, you're thinking they're going to throw it and don't get it. Right. Clock stops. Kick a field goal. Then you got 2 timeouts to run your offense.
But is there any thought here for North Texas that we're not trying to kick field goals, we're trying to win the game? Is there any thought that this is 4-down territory?
I think so. I think if you're on the road, you're far away from home, you're 51-0 last year, you're an aggressive offense, you've had a track record of success, you don't leave this field without going for it.
It's about to be 3rd and goal from longer.
Now, I change what I just said. I retract that based on what just happened here. Now, if you run that to the 1-yard line, different conversation. Now,
offense, number 22.
In a weird way, Evan, I think
3rd down.
That penalty gives them more room to breathe. I don't know if they're a smash mouth operation versus this defense right here in this part of the field, just smashing it in from 2 yards. But from the 7, they have a little bit of wiggle room.
3rd and goal from the 7-yard line. Young, the man in motion. Mestemaker, throw, knocked away. Airtight coverage. Sims had it. And this may be your ball game. North Texas will bring on the kicking unit as Mestemaker could not find his target. Sims was all over sides.
Yeah, that was great coverage. I think Mestemaker read the wrong side of the field. If you remember the touchdown catch in the back of the end zone earlier by Dorner, that same route was wide open.
25 yards, Kali Agunma. High snap put down, and we are tied.
That is a win for the defense. It's excellent for the offense because now it's a different ball game. That Western Michigan defense, they buckled down there. Good protection. Snap might have been a little bit high. Young man knocked it through. We've got a ball game.
Credit to Sawyer Evans, the holder, who is also the punter, for getting that one down. 1:35 to go. Lance Taylor just saw Nguma knock one through for North Texas. Lance Taylor believed that his team could win any type of game. He believed they could win a shootout. He believed they could win a slugfest. They got to go down and get points here to get a win in home game one this year. Evan Miles, one of the men back deep for Western Michigan. They're averaging nearly 30 yards per kick return today. They will pop up the kick, and Western Michigan is going to get outstanding field position.
Well, that was a glorified onside, a surprise onside is what you call it, because it wasn't a true squib. It was a bounce off the ground. Watch how he kicks the ball. It's going to hit the ground. Ba-boom. Like a Pepsi kick. Well, since it didn't hit off the ground, that's a Pepsi kick where you're trying to give your guys Pepsi, pop up, Lloyd Carr terminology. Okay. So Pepsi kick, it pops up. I just don't know. I'm taking my chances in kicking that ball deep. But we'll see. We will see, because Lowry's still in. Is this a running situation or passing? Can they run the ball for 25 yards? Or are they going to go through the air here? We'll find out.
They'll start with a Lowry run. And he doesn't gain a whole heck of a lot. Patrick Smith-Young steps up to make the tackle. And now we see how both teams use their timeouts. Western Michigan, they think if they get to about 45 yards on the field goal, they got a shot with Palmer Domschke. Lowry throws it away. He's looking for Brooks.
It's excellent coverage there by Fisher. He's playing quarters, which is cover 4. That means 4 guys deep. Numbers, hash numbers. And he was expecting that stop route on the sideline. He sat on it, and Lowry didn't have anywhere else to go.
Western Michigan started really well on third down today, but they've missed 3 in a row. Brock Lowry has ignited the Western Michigan offense today. Can he light a fire on third down and 9?
Talk about this one.
Timeout. Western Michigan. Second charge timeout. 32nd timeout.
They end up getting a first down here. That loss of a timeout could be pretty costly. We'll see if it ends up being something that Lance Taylor regrets having to do. What a game this has turned out to be. A game that early on was a slugfest. Western Michigan led 17-7 at halftime. Played that field position game in the first half. North Texas had long field after long field. Brock Lowry at the quarterback spot for Western Michigan may have asserted himself as the starter today. That combo of running and throwing has confused North Texas.
Definitely. I think he complements what they wanted to do offensively, which was run the football, play action, go down the field, and then get some quarterback run. As you see, he scored a touchdown there. And then they dialed up one. Buckley slips out the backfield. Once you get your eyes on the quarterback a little too much, a running back will get out on you. So he's played extremely well. And I just think the luxury of 2 quarterbacks is going to pay dividends later for this Bronco team.
Lowry on third down. Tucks, runs, keeps his feet. He's got the first down. Brock Lowry may become a Bronco legend with 1 minute to go. Clock rolling. Lowry's got it. Pump, look, throw. Out of bounds. Looking for Brooks again. David Fisher, step for step in coverage.
That was a good call, though.
Hands to the face. Offense, number 72. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's Gavin Dabo again on the last drive. He was the one on 4th and 2 who had a false start and forced Western Michigan to punt when they maybe were going to go for it.
Yes, good observation there. And it's unfortunate because happened in the backfield. Now it takes you back even further. I like the idea of taking a shot, trying to get a double move there. Fisher played with a lot of technique and discipline, so it wasn't able to work.
Oh man, how does this change everything with 50 seconds left? Lowry running. It's across the 40, and then the Mean Green Gang gets to him. They will burn one of those timeouts they have left here. Remember,
second charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
Remember earlier in the half, Eric Morris burned a timeout before that Western Michigan 4th down. Now, you were saying it kind of froze the offense. It got Dabo to jump offside, false start, and turn into them punting anyway. But now he's probably hoping he had one more timeout left.
Well, yeah, and it kind of depends on where they get the ball. I mean, if it's 27-27, there's still at least 2 more offensive plays that'll be ran by by Western Michigan. As you look at young Palmer's numbers, 2 for 2, long of 43. He's well out of that range right now. So the question you have to ask yourself, you only have 1 timeout if you get the ball back, but there's at least 2 plays left. If you're Western Michigan, do you take a shot, try to get half of it, may throw a pick, may get another sack? But for both teams, I think you almost say, depending on how this series finishes out, that's how the game finishes out. So that timeout probably wouldn't come into play necessarily unless they got the ball in decent field position.
They're going to run it again with Buckley. And he's brought down by North Texas right at the line of scrimmage. They could burn a timeout here, but then Western Michigan could just run it one more time and take this thing to overtime. No one calling timeout. I think we're getting free football in Kalamazoo. North Texas out of the American. Finesse against Western Michigan out of the MAC. Their physicality. We have played 60 minutes of football, and we do not have a winner. Well, Western Michigan, we haven't quite played 60 minutes. They're going to take 1 timeout.
30-second timeout.
Why do you think Lance Taylor's calling a timeout here, not just taking it to overtime? Miracle, 1 shot?
Now that one, that's a good question. I mean,
because my thought is, right, you can say, oh, we want to run, play. Well, God forbid if you're a Western Michigan fan, what if it goes all wrong, right? Kind of perplexing that North Texas was going to allow Western Michigan to take it to overtime, and Lance Taylor apparently wants to run 1 more play.
Well, obviously North Texas is going to get in a prevent defense, Hail Mary defense. I think they're going to run the football. I don't know if you just drop back, launch one, and try to get, a tip and all of that, hook and lateral.
And that's Brady Jones, who's got the better arm back at quarterback. They're saying their prayers in Kalamazoo. How far can Brady Jones throw it? It's incomplete. And we are going to overtime.
This is the end of the 4th quarter. Timeout.
60 minutes down in Kalamazoo, and we're not done. Lance Taylor's still got some more football to coach. And the crowd that's here in Kalamazoo, if their hearts already aren't in their throats, they're going toward their throats.
That was an awfully far attempt. And honestly, those type of plays can turn into a punt return versus where you have an athlete versus 5 linemen, because all your skill is downfield.
Yeah. Yep.
I remember I picked one of those off against the Buckeyes. Should have ran it back, but,
In case you're wondering how the overtime rules go in college football, we've got a refresher for you.
Welcome to Overtime, presented by Cheez-It.
It's crunch time. In the first overtime, each team gets a possession starting at the opponent's 25-yard line. If it goes to a second overtime, teams again start at the 25-yard line, but must attempt a 2-point conversion after a touchdown with no extra points allowed. From the third overtime on, Teams alternate two-point conversion attempts from the 3-yard line until the game is decided.
Thank you, Reese. So now you have that friendly reminder of the overtime rules in college football, which have changed significantly since they instituted the overtime rules. What a ball game. First ever meeting between North Texas and Western Michigan. American against MAC. And yes, we talked at the beginning of the broadcast about how stylistically the team's different. Western Michigan, physicality, they have run the ball a whole heck of a lot more than they've passed it today. North Texas with that air raid attack that goes up and down the field. And two teams that coming into the year didn't quite know what they were going to get in terms of all the transfers and all the new players that came in. That's why both of them were picked essentially right in the middle of their respective conferences before the season. But there is talent on the field. Western Michigan and North Texas have both showed that so far in this game. A game that still has more to be played.
Well, roster management has become a part of a head coach's job.
Gentlemen, great game so far. The winner of the coin toss will choose offense, defense, or into the field. Okay? You're still the visitors. What is your call? Call us tails. This tails won the toss. On defense. First down, Western Michigan, this way.
All right, here we go. Lance Taylor in Western Michigan in his third year, going for win 11 in his time in Kalamazoo. Against Eric Morris, third-year head coach for North Texas. Going for his 13th career win. Air raid against physical. Guy who grew up coaching, playing for Mike Leach. Against Lance Taylor, who once upon a time was a walk-on at Alabama. And he grew up a Bear Bryant disciple. His dad played for Bear Bryant. We asked Coach Taylor, you got any Bear Bryant stories you can tell us that are safe for live television? He goes, actually, I think I only have one. My dad told me once when he was playing at Alabama, they came into the locker room down 17, and usually Coach Bryant would be on us. But he came in the locker room that day and said, boys, we got him right where we want him. Bama came back to win that game. He gave his team the same message at Michigan State last week, and they've looked like a different team since. They run a trick play on the first play of overtime, and Buckley's forced to take a seat on the snap. He lost 5 yards.
Yeah, they try to get in that wildcat, probably part of their overtime package. Saw Lowry out there, and they were going to run a little speed option, and Lord Lowry could have pitched it or kept it, but nevertheless, it lost 5 yards.
Lowry's back in the gun. And Brock wants to throw. Floats it down the field. Incomplete. Open for Blake Bosma. And now it's third down at 15.
It just makes you kind of wonder here because overtime's a different ball game. It's a short field. The other team gets a turn. And now you're on 3rd and 15.
And two, this is right about the fringe of Palmer Domsky's range as the kicker. This is about as long as he can kick it, if they don't gain any yards here.
Yeah, you're looking at a 47 from here.
Lowry rolling away. Throws it down the field. Incomplete. No flags. So this is 4th down 15, and we're about to see how Palmer Domsky looks kicking about a 47, 48-yard field goal.
That is a very good stop. Good series for the defense of North Texas. Arguably their best series all game. At the most opportune time. A negative play. Field goes on the line, first at bat.
Officially a 48-yarder for Palmer Domsky. Good snap and hold, and his kick is drilled. I think he would have made it from 58.
Yeah, he got up underneath that one. Full follow through. That was a big time kick. Offense didn't really get a chance to even get into a rhythm. But when you can hit it from 48, look at that, right down the middle. Good snap, hold. For North Texas now, you're down 3. You have to at least match that. Anything better, game's over.
The career long's 52, so it's not a new career high, but Palmer with that brace on the right leg and all has given Western Michigan the lead in overtime. Does North Texas win it in our first overtime? They give to McGill, and he backpedals his way just shy of the 20. Keep in mind, too, just in case either team needs it, you get the 1 timeout. Drew Mestemaker, his 3rd start since the 9th grade. Got a shot to start the bowl game last year, and he's never left. Mestemaker's got it. Looking to the end zone. Flag down.
Ooh.
He was hoping for Williams. Fisher, the man in coverage.
Fisher's athletic enough. That's a peel call where you get the edge rusher running with running backs down the field on those.
Pass interference. Defense, number 8. It's a spot foul and an automatic first down.
You see, that's on Jarvis Sims, Javarius Sims. He wasn't even the intended target. His man, let's see. It was on the outside. It was on the outside.
Corner, yep. North Texas that far away from a win.
Western Michigan, use their timeout. 30-second timeout.
Marcus, it's just wild, right? You spend all the offseason working, lifting, building. You spend all week working, lifting, building. And then whether you're going to be smiling when your head hits the pillow tonight or maybe be drying a few tears when your head hits the pillow tonight, it's going to come down to 2, 3, 4 plays, just like this.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. That's the nature of this beast we call football. And I tell you, they had to call a timeout there because they lined up in that diamond formation, the short side of the field. And it's tricky. It's tricky because you get a one-on-one matchup to the wide side. You outnumber them to the short side, and it's up to the quarterback to go either way. Now North Texas didn't come out in that formation as they broke this timeout, but they wanted to get into that. And Western Michigan needed to call a timeout to talk about it.
McGill's the back with Mestemaker. That's who they give it to. And he trips. Saipai touched him down. The ball's at the 5. 2nd down goal. North Texas under 500 the last couple of years in 1-score games. Does the script flip in Kalamazoo today? Young motions out. Mestemaker, end zone. Incomplete. And a flag.
Oh, you just can't.
2 of them.
Wow.
Sims and Dorner are in coverage.
Self-inflicting wounds.
After play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 8. They're taunting. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
That's the right call. I mean, that is you have to, just like earlier, we've seen some plays, but right here, play's over. You did your job. You can't run up you cannot run up to your opponent. You made a great play. You're still in the game. Your defense has their backs to the wall, and it just takes one decision to change everything. 4 shots here, 3 shots from inside the 3-yard line.
Run! Mackenzie McGill is in, and that's a winner for North Texas.
That's the end of the ball game.
pass interference call, unsportsmanlike, undisciplined football to get you beat every time. Tip your cap, North Texas, played from behind all game. Western Michigan showed like their type of potential. They can run the ball they can run that football, 2-quarterback system. Week 2, you have to clean up. You can't beat yourself. But North Texas stayed in it, fought back. This was a great football game. Both teams deserved to win. Both teams deserved to win, but it came down to the little things. It's not running the ball. It's not drop passes. It came down to penalties and a lack of execution there by the end for Western Michigan.
You know, Marcus, we asked the North Texas coaching staff, not only do you win 51-0 in your first game of the year, but your quarterback, Drew Mestemaker, in his first 2 games, he's looked awesome. What's going to happen when you hit adversity? Are you nervous about that? I think they got their answer today.
I remember that question when it was asked. I remember his response, and they just hung around. And I think the most pivotal thing is when they scored a touchdown in the 4th and Western got a field goal and it cut it to 3. They never felt out of it. And they made one more play than Western Michigan. Check those penalties, man, but that was a great game, back and forth. Western Michigan missed some opportunities in the beginning to make this a 2-3 score game, and that offense clicked when they had some field position for North Texas.
You know, there were a lot of times in this game, if you asked all those people down there wearing green, players, coaches, fans, is this going to be a happy flight home? If you gave them truth serum, I'm not sure they would have said it would be a happy flight home to Texas. But that is one heck of a win for Eric Morris and his entire coaching staff. Time and again in this ball game, it looked like Western Michigan was going to eke out a win in home game number 1, but the Mean Green would not be denied. What a ball game on the first Saturday in September in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and thanks for spending it with us. For Marcus Ray, the whole crew, Evan Stockton saying so long from Kalamazoo, where North Texas in overtime comes back to beat Western Michigan 33-30. All games airing on the ESPN Network, streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.